Hello and welcome to Nintendo Pals Podcast. It's our 4-year anniversary. Woohoo! Woo! Micah,
Yeah.
what do you say we jump on into this episode?
Yep.
That's good. Actually, I didn't do any sort of cold open here. What are we talking about tonight? There's some hype news around Lego Zelda. There's also Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door, and you and me went to Nintendo World. So let's talk about that. Are you ready, Micah?
Yep.
Greetings, fellow Nintendo Pals. My name is Andros, and I'm one of the hosts of the Nintendo Pals Podcast, your 4-year-long podcast all about Nintendo and friendship. And I am joined by my fellow Nintendo pal, Micah.
Yep.
And I have now gotten you to say "yup" 3 times before we've even really started. 4 times before we even really started the episode. And Micah, I gotta ask, how the heck are you?
Yep. I mean, pretty good.
Truthfully, you're not doing pretty good, right? You said you maybe
actually not that good.
Yeah.
But I'm mostly better.
Yeah, same. So you and I went on travels. I got sick on the way back from travels, and you got sick from somebody else, not from traveling.
Yeah. Potentially got sick from someone who was sick when I got back.
Yeah. It's going around. I have a cold, or had a cold, and so I may need to jump up and blow my nose randomly throughout the podcast. It's like it's like a faucet that just randomly will just open up and just like
that's always fun.
Yeah, it's no fun because it just happens randomly. Luckily, I have the flexibility to work from home, so I worked from home today because that would have been brutal in an office. But anywho, what are we talking about being sick? You know what would be sick? Leaving us a 5-star review on your podcast listening app of choice. Hey, it's our 4-year anniversary. Nintendo Pals Podcast has turned 4 years old. You know what kind of present you should get for us? 5-star review on Apple Podcasts, Podchaser, Spotify, Audible, all those places let you leave 5-star reviews. And it helps us to take over the world of Nintendo podcasts. And just Nintendo in general, Super Nintendo World, which we're going to be talking about today in our pal topic. But I guess before we do that, let's jump into the first segment of our show, Micah, and let's talk what you playing. Micah, what have you been playing? Well, yeah, what have you been playing lately?
Not too much, actually. I think just the 2 classics. I played some more Splatoon, and I played some Rocket League this last week.
Well, I have an exciting game to talk with you about that I've been playing. We've talked a little bit about. And it's actually the namesake for the very first episode of Nintendo Pals. So it's fitting for our anniversary episode. Because in our very first episode of Nintendo Pals, we talked about the announcement of Paper Mario, the Origami King. And what do you know? We've come full circle, and I am playing Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door right now for the first time, which is also a staple of this podcast, being that I've not played it, and you will not let me live it down.
It only took 4 years.
4 years of badgering.
One of the 8 million GameCube games I've recommended to you.
You've only recommended me a couple, and I have played another one that you recommended me.
You have played 2.
Do you remember that one, The Wind Waker? Have you
Yeah.
forgotten
And
already?
don't forget Mario Sunshine.
Oh yeah, so actually 3 that you have forced me to play. Mario Sunshine was definitely
For your
against
own
my
good.
will.
You love that game and you know it.
I hate that game, and I will
That or
stand
you
by that
just need to
forever.
get good.
It's actually I don't hate that game, but I don't like it. I don't love it, that's for sure.
It is a little too hard for some people.
But you know what isn't too hard for some people? Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door. I haven't really had a hard time with the game, but it is so fun. 1000% the best game in the series, and I haven't even finished it yet. I am currently in the last dungeon, or what I assume to be the last dungeon, and that's the well, I don't want to spoil
Yeah,
anything. Actually,
spoilers.
this is a spoiler for a game that's like 30 years old, 20 years old.
Yeah, but it's like your first time playing it.
Well, it's the dungeon that's
All the others.
behind the Thousand Year Door.
Wow.
Yes, spoilers, you unlock the Thousand Year Door.
Turns
Spoilers?
out it's
I
really
know.
easy because it's 1,000 years old. You probably could have just punched it open.
So I have played a lot of the game. A good majority of the game. How long has it been out? This has been out
23rd?
since
In
yeah, for
5 days?
5 days. I've almost beat it. I've been playing
Oh,
pretty
you're
well. I was
pretty good.
sick, so I played it pretty nonstop while I was not feeling well. Because I like while I was sick, I would get like super dizzy standing up, so I was basically just bedridden. But I didn't get dizzy playing Paper Mario, so that's pretty nice. So I played Paper Mario the whole time, and it's awesome. It's awesome. That's all I have to say. Really, I see so much of you in this game, and it's pretty funny. It's got your humor.
I,
It,
I played it during my formative years.
yeah, straight up. Some of the characters, I'm just like, this is just written by Micah. So this game formed and shaped who Micah is, and that's if that's not a glowing recommendation for why you should play, I don't know what is. Um, yeah. What should we talk about with this game? Talk about there's differences between this and the original. You know those differences better than me because you looked it up.
No, yeah, I know a couple.
I don't
I
I don't know
forgot
because I
most
haven't
of
played the original. There's like
it.
a I know there's an expanded wallet. You have a bigger wallet in this
Oh
game. It
yeah, that's right.
doesn't have a 999 coin limit. So that's good. There's also a I think I think there's a retry was not in the
Oh
original
yeah, the
if you game
so
over.
so I've so I've heard, and I should probably remember, but yeah, I don't think you could just retry a fight,
Yeah.
which was really fortunate for you during that 100 floor challenge.
Yeah, because I died on the 100th. I didn't die on any other floor except for that one. On the 100th floor, I actually had no problem. I mean, there were some close calls, especially towards the end, but I was like, "Dang, this is awesome." And then you save in well, you can't save in the in the cave of 100 trials, right? So
I think so.
I had no save and I couldn't beat the last boss. And it's just real convenient that it let me retry that fight over and over again. Although when I clicked retry, I didn't because I have game overed in other spots too because I play with dangerously low health. I think
It's the only way to play.
I have like 15 HP.
Power all the way.
Yes, I put it all into badge power, all of my levels. So that's why I have like no health. And in previous spots, if you click, it will say retry this scene again, and you're like, yeah, and it puts you back into the room that you were in as if you're entering the room. Well, because the 100th floor entering that room triggers the cutscene to start the fight, I was locked in with what I had. I couldn't like change equipment or change badge allocation. And I thought I was going to have to retry anyways because I was just locked in, in with what I had. Luckily, I just got really good RNG and it didn't use the fire blast too many times. Punched. So I could use my partners as shields because my partners have high health. Mario does not, but they do. Yeah. And gosh, this game's so fun. There's so many like cool discoverables and graphically it looks awesome. It's held up fantastically. I saw discussion about how it's weird that it's at 30 frames per second when the original is at 60 FPS.
Yeah.
Is weird. I don't know why. Yeah, I don't know why, but I will say that I didn't notice. I didn't notice anything graphically. I
Yeah, it's not really the most important game to have running at 60 frames.
right. And if you look at it, it looks nicer than the original. Like they definitely added a lot of fancy lighting effects and reflections and things that I do not think were present in the
Yeah.
original game. Like
Yeah, they've improved the graphics quite a bit.
yeah, like shiny floors and things, and you can like slightly see your reflection in them. And yeah, it looks like Origami King. Like graphically, it just looks like a new Paper Mario game. And so to me, it is a brand new Paper Mario game, and it's the best one that they've made. I do find it a little sad that the second game in the series is the peak. 'Cause I have played a good chunk of the Paper Mario series. Not every game. I decided to skip on the hated Sticker Star. Although you and I both skipped that, and I think we got to try it someday, just so that we can really appreciate
Like,
the low.
agree that we hate it.
Yeah, we can't
We can
just be like,
confirm.
oh, we're not. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Same with
Well,
like
I'm
Metroid
hoping.
Other M. There's like those games that you and
Yeah.
I are like, we're not gonna play that. That's a bad game. But we're just parroting what we hear online, you know? And that's not good journalism. And we have journalistic integrity here on Nintendo Pals. That's why we went to Nintendo World ourselves. Can't trust what they tell you. You have to trust what you see with
Exactly.
your own eyes and what we tell you. Because that makes sense, right? But yeah, Paper Mario is really good. It's really fun and really awesome. Other game I've been playing and that I finished, Ring Fit Adventure. Ring Fit Adventure. I rolled credits on, finally. It said it took me 172 days of playing. That's a long time
Yeah.
for a game that also has a new game plus and a new game plus plus that I haven't started yet.
But you're going to, right?
Oh, 100%. 100%. I'm going to keep up the Ring Fit Adventure cuz I think that it's just a great daily workout program. I want to figure out how to make it more cardio focused cuz that's kind of what I really need to be focusing on. Because I'm not trying to bulk up, you know, as most Ring Fit players are trying to get huge. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to do that. No, I think that it's designed to be like a good daily habit game to play. So
Yeah.
I wanna keep it up because I feel good having started that. So I finished it right before we went on vacation, and then I got back from vacation and was sick. The instant we got back. So today would actually be the first day I'd try it. However, we are podcasting, so mayhaps not today, but I will be jumping back into Ring Fit Adventure. Ending was good. It was so long. It said 45 minutes of exercising, which equates to about an hour and 20 minutes of gameplay. It's just like a lot because it's only counting when you're doing something.
Yeah,
the
and you still
exercise
gotta
time.
like choose your moves and whatnot.
Yeah. Uh, it was awesome. The ending is so anticlimactic. I'm not gonna lie. It feels like it's building to this like crazy thing, and the end fight is pretty cool. But then it just ends with like, I mean, spoilers for Ring Fit Adventure. Not that the story is that important, but Drago's like, "Oh man, I'm sorry. I let the darkness get a hold of me." And everybody's like, "You know what? You should start a gym company." Company? What would that be called? You should start
Yeah,
your
I mean,
your
company
own
makes sense.
brand of gym. Yeah. And so that's the new game plus is you're going around training in his gyms so that
Hmm,
you can get more and more
fancy.
fit. But the masters, the four masters, you got the ab master, leg master, yoga master, and arm master. They all come back to life in the end.
They died?
Yeah, Drago just straight up killed them and absorbed them
Oh,
and their power.
well,
And then we just
a
forgive him.
little darker than I was expecting.
Yeah, well then it just ends with just us being like, "It's okay, Drago. We know that
We
you
all
were under
commit
dark
murder a little
influence."
bit every once in a while.
Yeah, if everybody makes mistakes, sucks the souls of beloved heroes. Yeah, it's a little dark, a little weird, but that's just that's just what happens. Yeah, so that was fun, and that's really what I've been playing this past
Yeah,
couple weeks.
I forgot to mention one game that I've been playing. Well, I
Oh,
played like 25 minutes, so not much, but I did play some Spelunky 2.
no way.
Yep.
Why?
Turns out one of their roommates here really likes Spelunky.
Oh, that's sweet. I don't know why.
Yep, and I don't know if they've actually beaten it, so maybe one of these days we'll actually finish.
Are you playing
We
local
never made it
co-op?
past like the second world thing in our like 5 attempts.
Are you playing local co-op?
Yeah,
That's the worst.
which is not as good as not local co-op actually.
Yeah. Do they have their own Switch? Because if you get it, then you can just play online together, which is better,
I
way better.
think we actually just played on their laptop hooked up to the TV.
Does that
I
have
don't know if they
crossplay?
have crossplay. Yeah, I was just wondering that.
And did we talk about this last episode? I picked up Gloomhaven for Switch.
Oh yeah, for like $8 or something.
It's like $7, and it came with the like single player DLC. And I know we're gonna play more of it. And
Eventually,
I mean, we're finishing up Baldur's Gate right now in our friend group playthrough. And I was like, you know what? Having it on Switch would be dang convenient because when we're playing, I can just like
lay
chill.
in bed.
Yeah, sit on the couch, lay in bed. I don't have to be at my
It'll
desk.
stop you from, and it will also stop you from playing Switch games while you play Gloomhaven, and you'll actually know when it's your turn.
When do I do that?
Yeah, when indeed.
I've definitely been doing that
Hey,
during
you were
Baldur's
playing
Gate.
Thousand Year Door when we were playing Baldur's Gate.
I blame Eli. He takes so long on his turns. I'm like, come on. Also, I'm addicted to Thousand Year Door. To be fair,
It's fantastic.
it's a good game. I know he called me out in one of our play
Have you been
sessions. He's
playing
like,
with the
"Are you playing Thousand Year Door?" No, and you're like, "How are you liking it?" That was pretty funny.
have you been playing with the original sounds badge
No,
or giving it
because
a try?
I haven't, but I want to. Well,
I don't
because now I'm hearing
actually know how
songs.
easy that is to unlock.
I have it. I unlocked it pretty
Oh
early.
yeah,
Yeah, I should be like trying it out in the different areas to hear the music because like the Xnauts Fortress, I know that song. I've listened to that. I like there's a bunch of songs from the game that I've listened to and heard before, and they're definitely upgraded and remixed and sound cool. I like the remixes of them. Micah, you might have to pick this game up and play it yet again. But also,
it is tempting, but then I
also,
look at my bake account and I'm like, maybe not that tempting.
yeah, maybe not. Especially
I
after this
prefer to
Nintendo
eat.
World trip that we took. Those bank accounts were taking a hit for sure. We'll talk about that though. Anything else you want to highlight from what you've been playing? Should we jump over to the next segment of our
I think
show?
that's it.
Well, let's talk some Nintendo news. All right. Final. The rumors were swirling forever, but we have the Lego X Zelda crossover. That's right. It is The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time and Breath of the Wild Deku Tree set. It's interchangeable between the two. And which I guess means you need to buy two if you want to have the real display. But this thing looks awesome. It looks really good.
I mean, it looks pretty all right, I guess.
I am so excited. I was like, I'm gonna need to get this, and my wife's like, "Why? What? No, why? You
I'm
don't."
so excited for the kids.
No, this is for me. I'm not letting my kids touch this one because I want to build it and have it as a display piece. I think it's a really cool display piece.
But which one are you going to keep it as? Ocarina of Time or Breath of the Wild?
That's a tough choice, and I think it's gonna have to be Breath of the Wild. Although I kind of like
interesting.
I kind of like the tree look of Ocarina of Time more than Breath of the Wild. You know?
Yeah, that's. I was just thinking. I think the tree looks better in the Ocarina of Time Lego set, but there's a little more background stuff, Tetsu and whatnot. In the Breath of the Wild. It's just combine them.
But just combine them. Just figure that.
Make your own Deku tree.
But also these like Lego minifigures for Link and young Link and Zelda. Oh man, it's so hype. It's so cool. So I'm sold instantly on this and very, very pumped. Yeah. So that's that news item. You're not planning on picking this one up, right?
Probably not.
If you had unlimited money, would you buy it, or do you think probably not?
Well, probably not.
I'm gonna say that I think
I'm too lazy to put it together.
Okay, okay. Somebody had to say it because I'm not looking forward to putting it together. I don't really enjoy Legos. I did when I was a kid, but I just don't really have fun building Lego sets. And yeah, I don't know, but I like the finished product for this one enough that I am willing to have this one Lego set as a display piece. I just need to what I need to do is figure out where to put this stuff up because I originally had, we had our guest room and it was all video game themed. We had our different walls. Well, we switched things around, and so all that stuff has sat in a box. And I was like, well, where will I put this up? I could put it up in my room. But now we're like talking about potentially moving and like so it's like, but once I figure out where things are landing, I'm gonna have like such a cool Zelda display. I'm gonna go and find a sword like the one you have that I can put up on display.
Well, you should just get a shield.
And
then
the shield.
whenever we meet up, we could have the full set.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. Yeah, so that's that. I'm excited. I'm pumped. I think it's really cool looking.
I mean, that is pretty cool, but I mean, it's not quite as cool as this paper airplane that you can download.
Yeah, you can download
You
the
can
Paper
download it, and then they have
Mario.
a tutorial to fold it up so it looks all fancy, thousand-year door like
It looks like
paper airplane.
the plane from Thousand Year Door. That's pretty cool.
That is pretty cool. Paper airplanes.
I
Paper
was
Mario.
thinking you were going to
Who would
talk
have
to me.
ever thought?
I was thinking you were going to talk to me about the upcoming big run, which will
Not
be
the big
happening
run.
June
The
7th and
big, big
June.
run. Is it not?
The big run. Yes. June 7th through the 9th.
It's actually that close. I didn't even pay attention to when the dates for it
Yeah,
were.
coming
I
up
just heard about it.
real fast.
They'll have the I can't remember what they called it, but it'll be like all three king salmonids attacking at once,
Nice.
which seems kind of wild.
Do you need to be like a
I've
certain
only
level to play that? Because I'd be down to try that.
don't think so.
All
I
right.
hope not. I mean, I
Fire.
know all I know is it's called the big run, but if they have like three bosses, it seems like you'd have to be playing with more than just four people. Unless I mean, maybe they're just really nerfed for this situation.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see in a little over a week from
Yeah,
when
this
we're recording this.
upcoming sizzle season seems pretty cool so far.
Yeah. What else do we want to talk about here? Some Smash Bros stuff.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Smash Bros. The director, this is Sakurai, right? That's the Smash Bros. Director. Reveals that all 86 fighters have an almost identical win rate for online play, meaning that they they've nailed the balance between the characters, which is pretty crazy given how unique each of the characters are.
Yeah, I forgot what the spread was. There's like less than a 4-point spread or something, and not 4 percentage.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they don't say which character wins the most, but they say the one that wins the most wins 51.43% of the time, and the worst win rate is 47.18.
Which isn't crazy. That's like pretty dang good and close.
Yeah.
Meaning that no matter who your main is, you can become a top skill level player.
Well,
you just got to figure out their play style. Yeah. And then
seems
as
like always has a trend of characters that's changing, but
yeah,
I mean, it tends to change, so who knows?
And as Monkey Thunder pointed out here on another news article titled "Nintendo's president is a self-described huge fan of Fire Emblem. This is why we have so many Fire Emblem characters in Smash Bros." They're like, we were thinking of putting in he's like, maybe you should put in a Fire Emblem character. we need another character. He's like,
we need a tiebreaker to decide between these two characters. How about instead a Fire Emblem character?
There are a lot of Fire Emblem characters. And you know what? After playing Paper Mario Thousand Year Door, I want another Mario character. I want Paper Mario to be in Smash Bros. He should be.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Yeah. That's better than Dr. Mario. Freaking Dr. Mario. It's
well, first of all, Dr. Mario is awesome because you can say take your medicine while spamming the pill attack.
Pills. Yeah.
Yeah,
and
awesome.
Also, instead of hitting people with a cape, you hit them with your diploma, which is very funny.
Wait,
that is real.
I never noticed that.
That is real.
I just thought it was a white cape. And I was like, this seems weird. That's hilarious.
So yeah, I'm not saying that he's a bad character, but that's such a clone of Mario, and we could get Paper Mario would be a very unique fighter. It'd be very fun.
Yeah. You just fold up into random things. You're up B, you turn into a paper airplane.
Oh, that'd be so cool. That would be so great.
I don't know how turning into like a boat would allow you to attack someone, but maybe it's your down smash. You jump up, turn into a boat, and land
That's
on
just a swim animation whenever he's in the water, you know?
That would be hilarious.
Wouldn't it be? That'd be great. And I think that's about all we can talk about. Oh, wait. There was an acquisition. So
yeah.
Nintendo acquired Shiver Entertainment, who is behind third-party ports for which games were they?
Is Harry Potter Legacy and Mortal Kombat are the two I remember. So
Yeah, Hogwarts
two
Legacy
ends of the
and
spectrum.
Mortal Kombat 1.
Yeah, the new rebooted
Yeah,
Mortal
and
Kombat
that
1.
is wild. Those are wild ends of the spectrum. Hogwarts Legacy, pretty good port. I mean, I played through the entire game on Switch, and I had a blast with it. A little muddy at parts, but
and that would
not horrible.
that one.
But Mortal Kombat was notoriously bad.
Yeah, I feel like that might have been like a Capcom thing, like rushing them though. Because with Hogwarts Legacy, they gave them time to port it, like after all the other versions came out.
Yeah.
But it seems like maybe the Mortal Kombat was just rushed, and they didn't have time to like take their time.
Yeah. So, as Kit from the Kit and Krista podcast mentioned, that one of the reasons this could be a good thing for Nintendo is they can now, when trying to work deals to get third-party games onto the Switch, they can go, hey, we have this studio which has lots of experience with those sorts of ports that can help you with this. So it's hopefully a way to bridge that gap for games coming onto Nintendo Switch, which I'm all for. I do feel like maybe they should have tapped panic button, because panic button.
That's what I was thinking. I couldn't remember their name, but Panic Button's done some great ports.
Yeah, which ones have they ported? I know they ported Rocket League.
All I remember is Doom, unless I'm mixing that up. I didn't know they did Rocket League as well.
All right. They did Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order? Did they just develop that game? Wait.
Maybe they ported to consoles, just not Switch.
Maybe. Yeah, they did because all of that they do is port development. So they ported to PS5 and Xbox. Apex Legends they brought to Nintendo Switch. Doom Eternal they brought to Nintendo Switch. Torchlight 2. Doom 3. Wolfenstein. Subnautica. Warframe. They've got a bunch. Octodad to the Wii U is where they ported it. I don't know. There you go. Good. They have a good history with ports. So. Anywho, shout out to Panic Button. Shout out to all these port teams that these poor teams that just get port jobs. Like they just get thrown like, here's our unoptimized game. Can you optimize it for a platform that's a potato? Yeah. Like, can you make it work good on this thing that it's not intended for at all? That's a lot of work. And kudos to anybody that can get these things to work. Because then you end up with things like Mortal Kombat or Alan Wake on the Switch, which is bad. Just bad. Bad ports, not fun. And that I think is where we can call it with Nintendo news. So let's jump over real quick to the rumor mill. Boop, boop,
Wait a
boop,
second.
boop,
Is this
boop.
Lego set $300?
Is it? I don't know where to go to check its price.
Yeah, some more people commented.
It
They're like
is.
300. They're like, this is cool, but $300 is a bit out of reach. I'm like, excuse me? This better be life size.
Oh no.
So does that
that
change?
that completely changes it. I can't buy this. I can't buy this. Anybody out there listening, check out our Patreon or patreon.com. I can't believe it costs $300. My world is shattered. That's so much money. That's a Switch. You could buy a Switch.
I feel like they need something in here to show off, like, oh gosh, to show scale. Like, how big is this even? Doesn't seem that big. Maybe it's bigger than it looks.
It is so cool. You're right, Monkey Thunder. I don't know. Does it show how big it is? There is nothing showing the scale. But I mean, the minifigures, we know how big minifigures are.
I don't want to do that sort of math.
Yeah, but it's not that big. Minifigures like this tall.
Okay, yeah.
And this thing's probably like roughly the size of one of our heads.
I bet it's bigger than that.
Maybe a little bigger. It does have like, it looks like it also has Link's little house. Now that I'm looking at the set.
Yeah, kind of. This house with as little effort as can be possible.
Is there how can we get this for less than $300? Robbery? Just kidding.
Well, that's one. Ask them to send us a review copy. We'll review it for them.
We need a review copy. We'll be like, it's our 4-year anniversary. Can we get a present for our 4-year anniversary? Sell
we
your
gotta save
kidneys
that for when Metroid Prime comes out. It's like, it was our 4-year anniversary semi recently. Can I have this?
Yeah. Man, let us know what you guys
recommend selling our kidneys, but I mean, just one kidney. You still need at least one kidney to function.
But if you have a Legend of Zelda Lego set, do you need kidneys really?
Yes.
You could die a happy man.
I think you would die before you got the Lego set.
As you're putting it together. Man, that's so disappointing. I'm so disappointed. I was ready to spend about half that. $150.
You were willing to spend 150?
Yeah, I mean, Legos are expensive. And I thought 150 was expensive. But $300? How much is the Lego Bowser?
I think that's also 300. That was like kind of hefty, right?
$269 on Lego.com.
Oh, I guess.
How about the 64 question block is $200?
I mean, to be fair, all that is just flat pieces that are yellow.
No, that one has like the little mini sets in it from each of the levels from Mario 64.
That's true. I forgot about that.
That's a cool set for $200. This is insane. Okay, we've completely derailed the show, which is typical for this show, right? Rumor mill. Rumor has it that Fortnite is going to be doing a crossover. It's going to be doing a crossover with Kingdom Hearts. Goofy with a gun?
I don't know about that.
I doubt that. Well, here's the thing, though,
I
is
mean, we got with a gun, which I feel like is to all sorts of wrong.
with a gun,
Aang from the last
dang,
Airbender.
that cut off completely. You're like, we got with a gun. I was like, what? Don't leave
Fill in
me
the
in
blank.
suspense.
There are a lot of weird people we've got that have
Yeah,
guns in Fortnite.
Batman famously hates guns in the game, using guns. Multiple versions of Batman.
I mean, it's mostly that he hates killing, but this is eliminating, so he's okay using guns.
No, he like retires in the in the canon of the animated series or anyway. He retires because he's forced to use a gun. And he's like,
Because
I'm
he's
never
so
gonna.
old. He doesn't even use
Yeah.
the gun.
Yeah.
But there are also there's like 500 versions of Batman.
Yeah. Also,
In one he holds a light machine gun in one hand.
yeah, and there was also
That's all I know.
in the movies he uses like a freaking rocket launcher. It's not a gun. It shoots rockets. But anywho, Disney, we already know, is doing a collaboration with Fortnite. They've announced that. They announced that way early. And so maybe we are just gonna get freaking Mickey Mouse with an Uzi. Oh boy! What a world!
That'd just be so wrong.
What a world! There's already been so many characters in Fortnite that you're like, what? Why? So hey, let's do it. Bring Kingdom Hearts into Fortnite and make it canon somehow, because everything ever that's released Fortnite, even that mobile game that got discontinued, is part of the canon story of the series. They always tie in somehow. Anywho, what other rumors we got? What do you want to talk about?
So many of them, probably.
So many rumors galore.
Well, there's a rumor that Microsoft will be targeting the next system, aka the Switch 2, with a new Call of Duty game. Just apparently Black Ops 6. I only remember Black Ops 2. Has it really been that long?
What happened to 3 through 5? No, there was definitely a 3. I don't remember a 4 or 5.
3 sounds familiar, but yeah, I don't remember 4 or 5 at all.
They probably happened.
I mean, they must have.
Those games come out like every other year, right? They can do like a Call of Duty, then they do Call of Duty Black Ops, and then they do something else.
Modern Warfare again.
Speaking of games that come out every year, Pokemon. Rumor from leaker KHU, that Gen 10 Pokemon games are happening in 2026 for the 30th year anniversary.
2026, huh?
Yeah, which isn't.
That's in like forever.
It's not too crazy. I don't think that's like crazy soon, or like between generations, right?
Yeah. Well, when was the last main
Scarlet
Pokemon
and
game?
Violet came out.
Scarlet Violet. 23?
I don't remember. Was it? No, it might have been 22. Scarlet and Violet release date.
Mm-hmm. Yep, November 18th, 2022.
Yeah, November 2022. So 2 years
We
ago.
also have Pokemon A to Z or whatever it's called next year, right?
Yep. So yeah. Kind of makes it seem like those are both going to be Switch 2 or whatever the next Switch system is games. That'll be good. Yeah. Hopefully it's not broken on release, which they still haven't fixed, Scarlet and Violet.
I mean, they're not that broken.
They're pretty broken. You defend it every time, but I gotta say
I can't remember like a single bug that happens in that game.
Yeah, visually it was released in an unacceptable state, in my opinion.
Felt pretty acceptable to me.
For a AAA game studio, biggest series in the world, It just doesn't look that good. It's not unplayable, I suppose, but there were a lot of bugs. I ran into bugs where I fell through the ground and I got stuck on a rock and couldn't move.
Seems like maybe you just fell into like a sinkhole or something.
I don't think so, because I was like on the other side of geometry. Could see that. That was
The other side of geometry?
yeah,
What does that even mean?
like the mountain. Like I'm on the other side of the mountain and I can see.
The other side of geometry.
Is that not of
I
like
don't think that's the same.
that's a game term, like a game development term.
I don't think that is. All I know is I googled the other side of geometry and nothing came up. It seems like it'd be a cool like band name or something.
The other side of geometry is a great name for a band.
Yeah.
Let's stop this and start that. So all of that being said, Pokemon coming in 2026, according to rumor. What else is coming, Micah? What other rumors we got?
Oh, we got rumors from Midori, who has a code name for potentially a new mainline Mario game. It is SP Red, and turns out all the code names for Mario games have red in the name. Red Pepper, Big Red, Red Pro, Red Dash, Red Carpet, Red Bowl, Red Star, Red Pro S, Red Carpet S, Sec Red, and SP Red.
Sec Red Blue. I'm sorry. Sorry, everybody. SP Red. Special Red? But I'm excited.
Yeah.
I'm excited. Monkey Thunder's comment here, I think is very funny. I don't know how true this could be though. Nintendo would never develop a new Mario game. There's no way they're developing a new Mario game.
Not again. I mean, they've already made so many.
Yeah, it's the end of the series was Mario Bros. Wonder. What a way to end. I mean, it is a great game. But I foresee that being a launch window title for the next system.
I feel like it's been long enough for a 3D Mario, at least. I mean, they got Bowser's Fury, but that's pretty small.
That doesn't count.
That feels like something they were kind of doing and then decided they didn't want it to be a full game.
Yeah. And I think that's all we'll cover with news. Oh, I'm sorry. One more rumor. Dragon Quest HD 2D. Just pull up this whole article here. Will be shown at the June Nintendo Direct, be released before this fiscal year, and be the Erdrick trilogy, not just 3.
Like, do we even know anyone who's excited about that?
We know lots of people that are excited about that. But most excited is probably in our community, Spider Shan.
Yeah, that Plucky Spire, right? At the 2.
Plucky Squire. What happened to Plucky Squire? Where is that?
It got delayed to this year. I don't think they specified.
And it's now halfway through this year. Usually when you delay it, it's like
the new Hollow Knight Silk Song.
No, don't do this to us.
Maybe in 6 years.
And that's what we're going to talk about as far as rumors go. I think that's it. And Micah, call me crazy, but I think that's the last segment before
the last segment.
Before the last segment, yeah. Pal topic.
I don't know if it is, though.
What is our other segment? What segment did I miss?
We got last week. We asked you, and also sometimes Community Corner.
How did I forget? About the?
Did we even ask anything?
Yes, we did. So let's talk about it. Let's go to the Community Corner. All right. We have. Oh my gosh, this is the smallest picture I've ever seen. From Presto of Off the Wall. Presto put in a favorite game meme template, and I'm going to just read out the categories here with his picks for games, and he wants us to rate his and then fill out ours. So should we just go one at a time?
Sure.
All right. Favorite game of all time for Presto is Mario Kart 8 Deluxe.
It's bold.
I just can't get behind that being the favorite game of all time. I mean, it is the best Mario Kart game.
Debatable, but yeah. Can't forget Double Dash, of course.
I mean, they didn't forget Double Dash. There's so many Double Dash courses in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. How do you feel about this as a pick? While I get Midna some food, I don't know if you can hear her meowing off screen.
Just the last couple meows. I mean, Mario Kart is a fun game and all, but I don't know if it's like game of all time tier quality, you know?
Yeah. Well, and it doesn't have like an impactful like story, which I feel like the greatest game of all time should have some elements of that. There is not really a good like solo mode for this Mario Kart. Anyways, we're basically saying your decision sucks, Presto.
Yeah, it's garbage. Do better.
I do think it's up there in my favorite games of all time, but not my favorite game of all time. And I don't know where it would land. Probably not even in the top 10.
Yeah, same.
Yeah. What is your favorite game of all time?
Undecided.
You can't say that. He asked us to
absolutely can
fill it out.
I just said it.
Well, put in an answer. What's your favorite game of all time?
The Lion King.
For the
Sega Genesis.
Sega Genesis. That's a bold
That's
choice.
what it is currently. I saw a post about it, like yesterday. So I was like, this game is garbage. No one ever, well, not quite what they said, but it showed how you beat Scar by backflipping him off Pride Rock.
Yeah.
And like one of the top comments was, no one ever even saw this. Like this is the first time a lot of people are seeing this. And that game was incredibly brutal.
That is so true.
But I beat it as a child.
You did it. My favorite game of all time, I think I'm gonna it's it's up to the two, right? It's between Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild. And I can't quite decide between the two. I'll probably have to go with Tears of the Kingdom. Breath of the Wild
had more of that wow factor.
Yeah, that impact for it being the first experience. But Tears of the Kingdom is Breath of the Wild elevated. Literally. There's the Sky Islands. And de-elevated, because there's an underground as well. But I'm just thinking of the ending. So the beginning of Breath of the Wild is more impactful than the beginning of Tears of the Kingdom. The end of Tears of the Kingdom is more impactful than the ending of Breath of the Wild. Like that ending is so hype. The whole ending sequence is so good. So I think it's gonna go to Tears of the Kingdom as my favorite game of all time. There's like slight recency bias, I suppose, but I also have been playing that for 2 years now, right? So when did that game come out? That came out in 2022 as well.
Tears of the Kingdom?
Yeah. Or am I crazy? Did that come out
last year? No, it hasn't been that long. Right?
No.
It was the beginning of some year, I'm pretty sure. Maybe not.
maybe it was 2023. It was 2023. It's only been a year.
2023.
May 2023. Man, I'm adding years. Yeah, that's my current. And if I didn't pick that based off recency bias, it would be Breath of the Wild. So there you go. Uh, but are you locking in on Lion King, or are you going to give us a real answer?
I'm locking it in.
There you go, Presto. Now you can feel good about your decision.
Take it.
All right. Well, while Micah answers the door for off screen, best story is the next category, and Presto picked Undertale. And I gotta say, Presto, that is an excellent choice for story. I really like Undertale's narrative, and it is a really impactful story. I can get behind that as a selection. What game would you say has the best story, Micah? I am like kind of blanking at the moment. You're muted still, by the way. Oh, shock face.
Let's see how long it would take you to notice.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, same. Although looking at this list, maybe I just give it to Celeste. I think Celeste has a real good story. Although you might not know about that too much since you never finished it.
I did.
Not the true endings.
I'm not gonna get the true ending of that game. Heck no. I know about it.
Do you?
I probably will give this to either Divinity Original Sin 2.
Good story.
Or Baldur's Gate. Baldur's Gate 3 specifically. I haven't played the first two. Yeah. Because I just think that those are excellent games with really intriguing and interesting narratives, good twists. I feel less shocked by the twists in Baldur's Gate 3 than I did in Divinity. And I don't know if that's just because of the overwhelming amount of story there is in Baldur's Gate 3. Yeah. That's kind of where my brain leans right off rip. All right. Next one is favorite art style. And Presto picked Wind Waker. How do you feel about that?
Fantastic choice.
It is a good choice. That game holds up excellently. Obviously, like they did the HD remaster.
The best character expressions.
Yeah. Favorite game for art style. What are you gonna pick for that, Micah? Do you have a game that you're like, oh yeah, this one's just awesome to look at?
Potentially Wind Waker, but also a little bit Metroid Prime.
Yeah, I think I might have to also give this one to Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, or just Tears of the Kingdom. It's a visually stunning game. But then there's a part of me that's like, I kind of want to give this to Skyrim.
Get out of here.
I like Skyrim's art style. It's just like such a vibe to be in that game.
So generic.
But it's the king of generic.
It's like they just took free art assets and made their game using them. Skyrim.
That's what all the free assets are based off of. Skyrim is really because the game is so old.
They're just generic trees and rocks.
It looks so good, and that's why I'm going with Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, because it's kind of that, but more artistic, more pretty. I like this one. I'll finish this someday. This category, and in that category, he has Hollow Knight.
Which is same, actually.
Yeah, I'll probably throw in
Metroid Prime.
no Hades.
You never finished Hades?
I mean, I rolled credits on it like 3 times, but you have to play it like
3 times?
yeah, don't you have to beat it like
I think you
30
gotta do it
times?
like 20.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll finish it someday. I'll
I
I'll
don't think
definitely
you
finish
will.
it someday.
You're running out of time before Hades 2 comes out.
Yeah, that's true. You're running out of time before Silk Song comes out.
I don't think I am.
Touche, huh?
Nah, I don't think. I think I have plenty of time until Silk Song comes out.
Okay, how about big personal impact? Gator game for Presto. I think
You
that's
know
good.
what? I'm gonna go along the same lines and go with Croc 2.
Croc 2. Big personal impact. Plock.
Gross.
How dare you
It
call my
explains a lot
personal
about your
impact a gift?
personality, actually.
Okay. Next game. This is a long list, so we got to pick up the pace on this. Best combat. Presto gives it to Xenoblade Chronicles. I'm going to give it to Divinity Original Sin 2. What you give it to?
I'll steal that. Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
There's so much flexibility.
You like it, but everyone else hates it. Sonic Frontiers is what Presto put in. I feel like I have a game.
Ocarina of Time.
No, it's not true. That's not true. Kirby Clash. Kirby Clash.
Oh yeah, that's just
everybody hates that game, but I like it. I liked that game.
I forgot. I actually had a game, and then I forgot. Well, you were saying your game.
I'm trying to think because I feel like there is one that's like,
no, Mario Sunshine. There's a decent portion of people that hate that game, but it's so good.
Yeah. I'd say the majority hates that game, but there is a large audience that loves it, and that, like you. Wait, are you tapping your desk? What is that noise?
What is what noise?
Do, do, do.
Do you still hear it?
Yeah.
What about now?
Don't hear it now.
What about now?
Don't hear it now.
What about now?
Now I hear it.
Oh, that's weird.
What is that?
Is it like my armrest lightly brushing against the desk? Like I can't even like hear it.
Oh, that is weird. Is it shaking the microphone?
Right.
Is it shaking the microphone stand? Yeah, that makes it sounded like dripping water or something.
So how's this?
Yeah, if you're just earthquaking the whole time. For those listening to the audio portion, you need to jump on over to the visual version of the episode. Not just because the PAL topic is going to be very visual heavy, but because it's more fun over here where you can see us talking. Put a name to a face. You're like, oh, they're so ugly. Oh. What were we talking about here? Did we both give our answers to you like but everyone hates?
Yeah. Onto the you hate but everyone likes. Ocarina of Time. Absolutely.
Presto put Mario 64.
Which I respect a lot.
I'm gonna put, I don't know, like any shooter game. That's such a, and that's not even true. Like I like shooter games. Hate is such a strong word.
Yeah.
What games do I
particularly actually hate?
What games do I hate that everyone else likes? Apex Legends? Not a fan. That's probably what I'll go with. Apex Legends. Underrated. And he put down Mario and Luigi Partners in Time. I can't. I'm struggling to think of things on the spot, so I'm just gonna put Plock.
Go with Kirby's Air Ride. It's Kirby Air Ride. Kirby's, right?
Yeah. Nintendo Land. I'll change my answer to that.
Oh yeah, that's underrated, actually real good.
Overrated. He put Mario Kart Wii. And I am going to tick off everyone. Super Smash Bros.
Xenoblade.
Melee. Super Smash
Oh,
Bros.
punch you
Melee.
right in the throat.
So overrated. Come on, people. Move on. Move on. There's been more games in the series. And I like Brawl better. There, I said it. Come at me in the comments. Engage in the content. Make this boosted in the algorithm, you fools. You're feeding right into my trap. Smash Bros. Melee, overrated. What are you saying?
Essentially, any Mario Kart game.
You're just saying any Mario Kart game. That is a double dash. Okay, next one. Why do I like this? Put in Slime Rancher. I'm like having to squint to see it. Slime Rancher. Why do I like this game? I feel like this is so similar to the you like but everyone hates. But also Slime Rancher is like wildly... that's one that people like a lot.
Yeah. I mean, I might go with Animal Crossing. I feel like it just seems like a slightly boring concept.
Well, dang it.
It's still enjoyable.
I'm just going to copy your answer. Animal Crossing's probably it for me as well. And I don't like any other games like it, which is interesting. Like, not a fan of like Stardew Valley. Not like I'm not a fan, but it's just I couldn't get into any of them. Just Animal Crossing. So that's what I'll pick. Next up is games you always come back to, and they put press to put Pokemon Legends Arceus. What are you gonna say for this one?
It's a good question. I probably have to go between Luigi's Mansion and Thousand Year Door.
I am going to go
GameCube era games that I've played within the last 2 years.
My wife just snuck me some Sour Patch Kids. That's why I'm making weird faces off camera. Oh, Sour Patch Kids. Super Mario World for the Super Nintendo. I come back to it. I play it and have a good time every time I do. So there's that. Breath of the Wild could also be here for Tears of the Kingdom. Yep. The Atmosphere, ... Put down Celeste. Maybe this is where I throw in Skyrim. I will put Skyrim here. Don't make that. You just don't like Skyrim. It's just wait. You don't even don't like Skyrim. Didn't you play through?
I do like Skyrim. Yeah. It's just the atmosphere. I can get that atmosphere by walking outside and squinting. Like,
it's not the same.
It's exactly the same.
It's the way the music and the world and the gameplay come together. I feel like just give you such a cool vibe, adventuring vibe.
Well, I'm gonna go with Metroid Prime.
That's a better choice. Even I'll admit that's a better choice, but stick with my guns here. Bad Day Cure. And presto put Kirby in the Forgotten Land. So something to cure a bad day. I don't know. What do I play when I'm having a rough day? Spelunky 2, which feels like
that's not going to help.
That's fighting fire with fire.
Yeah, I don't know if I really have a specific bad day cure.
No, I'm gonna put Vampire Survivors.
It's not bad.
It's a quick, like, it can't be a game that I have to like lock in on and do too much with. It's a kind of shut off the brain and play and just enjoy being all powerful. or getting
Nice.
crushed really early on. Yeah.
I'm gonna go with Pokemon Sleep.
Because sleeping makes you
When
feel
I'm
better.
having a bad day, it's bedtime.
Then you'll wake up and have a great day after.
That's the hope.
All right. Games with favorite protagonist. And Presto put down Deltarune, which I don't quite understand this pick, Presto. We've been just saying his picks and haven't been rating them. I think all of them have been good picks.
That's true, yeah.
I forgot about that aspect. I was just like, wow, that's a good choice.
Cool.
But this one I'm a little confused by, because isn't the protagonist of Deltarune just like a silent protagonist? There's the party members, but I don't do those
Presto
count?
just has good self-esteem. Nothing wrong with that.
I want to be the protagonist. But
I mean, when you have a silent protagonist, you just insert yourself in a little bit.
yeah. What do you pick for this one?
Isaac. You'll have to guess from what game.
The Binding of Isaac?
Nope.
Golden Sun. All right. That's a good pick.
Heck
I was gonna say Hades. Like
that's
the
good.
protagonist of Hades. I feel like he's got a likable, fun
But
personality.
what's his name?
Zagreus. Zag.
The way you said Hades, the protagonist of Hades. I was like,
Hades, the protagonist
the name?
of Hades. No, I remember. Okay, how about this next category? After work relaxation, Mario Kart 8. I think this is an okay pick, Presto, first off. But
Yeah,
I
can
wouldn't
respect
classify
that.
Mario Kart 8 as really relaxing. I wouldn't. I just get into it, I guess. I'm too into it to relax. What do you play for after work relaxation, Micah? Long day, just like come home. What am I going to play?
Pokemon Sleep.
Yeah, there you go. Good, great picks. I'm like looking through. Shoot, I don't know. I'll say Mario Odyssey for this one. That's a good, like, chill, relaxing game. Mario Odyssey. Biggest letdown. Sonic. What does that say? It's so blurry.
Generations.
Sonic Generations. Sonic
I've been impressed
Generations.
with some of these other ones you were able to read because I had no idea.
I have it blown up here on the side, but blowing it up makes the logos hard to read.
Yeah.
Sonic Generations would have picked. I haven't played Sonic Generations, so I don't know. But I thought that was well received. I thought people liked that one. Biggest letdown. Mario Strikers for the Switch. Battle League. That's what it's called. Didn't like it.
It's pretty solid.
That is like my one regret purchase. That and then Hyperbox Recharge.
Uncharged.
Yeah, but
I mean, it sounds like we should try that out again.
Yeah, I also played that one more than I played Strikers, I think. So I think Strikers takes it. What a disappointing game for me. And I think for everybody in general. It just like didn't have any substance really to keep it long term. They kind of set it up to be a live service game and then just left it. And it didn't really have like a single player. Not like Mario Golf, which people were disappointed by, but at least it had like a pretty full-fledged campaign mode. That one was fun. That's my biggest letdown. Or maybe I should put Nintendo Switch Sports. That was the highest of high expectations and pretty low return, but I did play a lot of that game. So What are you picking for this one, Micah?
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I don't really have one that's crazy. I'll just steal yours.
Yeah, just join me. Mario Strikers.
And not necessarily because I thought it wasn't good per se, but there weren't a lot of people to play it with. Because a lot of people are like, this isn't that good. Also, the online wasn't like super fantastic at times.
It
But that
wasn't.
might have been my internet.
And also,
So
the limit of 2v2 for online was a little bit of a bummer. But
yeah, but there was that time I slide tackled some guy who was about to slide tackle you as you were doing your what do they call those extra fancy shots?
yeah.
That was pretty cool.
What's next here? Back in the day game. I don't know what this category means. Presto put Super Mario Bros. Wii. And
Okay,
so
I gotta go with.
I don't understand what this means. Is this just like this is what we played back in the day?
I mean, yeah, this was back in the day.
Okay, yeah, then Brawl.
Play Brawl like all the time.
And Mario Bros. Wii, that's a good pick as well. I think that's
solid.
That fits. Not the best, but having fun. And Presto put down Dadish, to which I say that's a horrible decision. Dadish is the best, and you're having fun. Not the best, but having fun. What do you mean by that? What do you mean? What are you trying to say about Dadish? Dadish is fantastic. Yeah. What are you gonna put here? What's a game that I feel like this is another one where it's like you like, but everyone hates. Because this one also makes sense.
I was like Mario Kart 8. I feel like it's kind of the best Mario Kart game.
Not the best, but having fun.
Yeah.
You know, I'm gonna put down Fortnite. It's not the best. Not the best game out there, but I have fun when I play it. There you go. I feel like that's a good spot to put Fortnite in. Criminally overlooked? Isn't this the same thing as underrated?
Kind of.
So just another category to put.
I'm just gonna put Nintendo Land for this one.
Okay, he put in Rhythm Heaven, which I feel like this game is really well loved, actually. I don't.
I feel like there aren't that many people that know about it.
Yeah, it's not mainstream. Criminally overlooked. Kid Icarus Uprising? I think it's overlooked because of its bad control scheme. And people are just like, yeah, and they lose out on one of the coolest third-person shooter games ever. It's Smash Bros. As a single-player adventure game. I mean, it just oozes Sakurai all over it. That's a weird way to describe that. But anyway, let's move on to the next game. Depressing game. And Presto's put in not available. Is that the name of a game that's depressing? That I've never heard of? Or do you just not have an answer for this? A game that makes you sad. I don't have a good answer for this one.
Yeah, I got nothing as well.
I'm cheating on this
depressing
one.
Games.
Yeah, most depressing games.
I guess. Oh, I mean, there's a depressing moment in a Nintendo game. Origami King.
That's true.
But
I wouldn't say
generally, that's not a depressing game.
All these lists of games are games I've not played. Real life. That's a funny answer to that question. I don't have a good answer for this. I'm just trying to like quickly search through a list here and like, is there any?
I'm gonna go with A Room of Depression.
I'm gonna go with none of these games because I don't know what. I don't know. Nope, I don't have a game. Depressing game. Nope, don't have one. Not available. I am also answering not available. Next one. Favorite active franchise. I'm pressed to put in Kirby, which I find interesting given the lack of Kirby.
That, I guess.
Well, the lack of Kirby on the rest of the list. There's just not.
Bad Day Cure, I think, is the only.
Yeah. Yeah. You'd think Mario Kart.
I might have to go with Legend of Zelda on this one.
Same Z's. Legend of Zelda.
Although, ask me again when Prime 4 finally comes out.
Like then it will be active again.
Yeah.
All right, we got two categories left. Indie pick. To that, I'm tossing on Spelunky 2.
Respectable. Enter the Gungeon.
Presto put in Hat in Time, which I think is a very respectable, good pick for a favorite indie game of all time. And then last is not usually my thing, but which I feel like we've had a lot of these. Feel like
why do I like this?
Yeah, not usually my thing, but Fire Emblem is what Presto put. And Presto, we can't really judge you for that because I don't know idea. Who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows? I haven't played a Fire Emblem game except for the intro to Awakening. And not my usual thing, but I would say Divinity Original Sin 2. Prior to playing that game, I had never played a game like that. Like those
but now it's your thing.
CRPGs, and now I'm like, no, these are great. So yeah. But that's what I'll put here. Divinity Original Sin 2.
I don't really know if I got one of these.
Animal Crossing again. That's what I was good.
That's cheating. That's cheating and is illegal.
Is it?
Very much so.
I don't think it's illegal because Presto had Mario Kart 8 twice.
Yeah, but those are like very different categories.
Yeah, you're right.
But I got nothing.
Well, I'm going to change my answer here to...
I'm just going to say Metroid Dread. Just because I want Metroid Dread on this list somewhere.
Yeah, I'm going to put Stanley Parable here. Not my usual kind of thing, but I don't think there's anything like that. And that game's awesome. So, yeah, thank you to Presto for sending us this list and question here. We have another question here from Third Strongest Mole. You wake up one morning and find out Pokemon are real. What Pokemon do you think you can catch in your backyard? In my backyard, I can catch a freaking... Because I live in Florida. So I'm going to catch a freaking alligator.
Pokemon.
I'm going to get Totodile. I'm going to get...
Oh, Totodile, yeah.
What's the other? Sandile.
What's that dark crocodile?
Fuecoco.
Oh, Fuecoco. Is that a... Oh, no, yeah, I guess.
Yeah, he's a little gator. He evolves into a gator.
Eventually. I feel like the first two I wouldn't quite call a gator, but
So that's what I'd catch in my backyard. I could do that right now. Let me go catch a gator real quick.
yeah, there's some what's that? Not overturned dirt.
Mm-hmm.
Is it just overturned dirt?
Yeah.
Freshly toiled.
Freshly
Toiled?
toiled.
Oh,
The freshly toiled dirt.
what is the word I'm actually thinking of? Who knows? I got some fresh dirt. A diglet.
A diglet. There you go. A diglet in your yard. Oh, that's pretty funny. Well, that does it for questions in the community corner. So now it's time for last week we asked you. Do we have a bumper for that? I don't know if we do.
I have the perfect bumper for this.
Perfect. Hit us with the last week we asked you bumper. That was great. Last week we asked why that's so ominous for last week we asked you and then you put we don't want to die. Last week we asked you what are your top 5 video games of all time? So this fits right in line with what Presto asked us this week. So last week we asked and we got answers. First up comes from Maddie Beth. Says, number 1, Twilight Princess. Number 2, Pokemon Alpha Sapphire. Number 3, Nintendo Land. Number 4, Genshin.
Respect.
And number 5, Breath of the Wild. These are all great.
You mean the Breath of the Wild clone is above Breath of the Wild?
I haven't played Genshin Impact. I was holding out for it to come to Switch, which it's not coming to Switch anymore. I don't think. I think they canceled that, right? But what? Besides that, I think all of these are really respectable choices. I am a huge Ruby Sapphire Emerald fan, so I think these would all appear within my top 5 of all time as well, except for Genshin Impact because I haven't played that one. Maybe not top 5. This is missing Tears of the Kingdom and Mario Odyssey and
Metroid Prime,
Divinity and
Wind Waker,
Baldur's Gate,
Enter the Gungeon.
It was great though. Great picks.
Quap.
You got anything to say about it? I think it's
definitely respect Nintendo Land being on there.
Yeah, I think it's bold to have Twilight Princess as number 1 and Breath of the Wild as number 5. It's controversial. I think I think a lot of people don't put Twilight Princess up that high. I might. I need to play it again. I really do. So, what next? Presto has a list.
Presto's top 50.
Yeah, we're not doing that, Presto. Sorry. If you want to check out Presto's top 50, you can listen to Off the Wah.
But
and
also Presto also challenged us to say it in one breath.
No. We're both sick. We're not doing that. I'll pass out and die.
Yeah, I think maybe if we split it, there's a chance we could. But I mean, we could read the top 5.
Yeah, hit us with this top 5.
You got Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, Mario Odyssey, Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury, A Link Between Worlds, and Kirby Return to Dreamland.
Those are all great games. Nothing too crazy or out of the ordinary here.
Yeah.
Very expected picks from Presto, who actually put Breath of the Wild at number 6, which I am impressed by. So there you go. All right. And I mean, he's got a lot of games in here. F-Zero 99 is on this list.
1,000 Year Door isn't on this list.
Paper Mario is. Maybe that's what he meant by that. All right. Purple Riolu. Oh, we'll go with Gabriel's list next. List is number 1, Super Mario 3D World. Great pick. Great pick. Number 2 is Animal Crossing New Horizons. Number 3, Splatoon. Number 4, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. And number 5, Lego Star Wars The Skywalker Saga. Now, that is a shocker to me that would be on anybody's top 5. That's the latest one in the series. So it's not like a nostalgia. Well, it kind of is a nostalgia play in both Star Wars and in Lego Star Wars as a series, but top 5. Bold choice, Gabriel. But all the others on here make a lot of sense to me. And when you're saying Splatoon, are we talking the first Splatoon?
Or just Splatoon in general?
Or just Splatoon? Well, you can't pick just the game series. So it must be the first one.
I mean, they don't change that much, so.
That one. That series particular. You're right. Anything you want to comment on this list? I think that Super Mario 3D World, while not topping a lot of lists, should top a lot of lists because that is a fantastic Mario game.
I don't know, I kind of feel like that game's overrated.
I kind of feel like you're overrated.
Kind of feel like I'm not, but. But you also forgot Kid Fiasco's list.
Did I skip over a list?
Probably. I got number 1, Final Fantasy. It's literally right above Gabriel.
Oh, it's like it's
just not quite formatted the same.
Yeah, it's put in a it's okay. Okay, I see.
Yeah, number 1, Final Fantasy. Number 2, Ocarina of Time. Number 3, Wind Waker. Number 4, Final Fantasy 9. And then 5, Skies of Arcadia.
This is a good list. Got to give it to him. Final Fantasy VII is one of the most beloved games of all time. Ocarina of Time, also up there. Wind Waker.
It's bold having 2 franchises taking up 4 of the 5 slots.
I mean, is it though? It's Zelda. Maybe we could just make about my top 5 games of all time. Yeah, Tears of the Kingdom, Breath of the Wild, Twilight Princess, Wind Waker. It's like you just throw all.
And then what's your 5th?
I was just throwing out a list.
What's your 5th?
Ocarina of Time.
I was hoping you forget it.
Yeah. Well, once I realized that I put Wind Waker above Ocarina of Time, I stopped because I was like, oh, that feels gross a little bit.
So what you're saying is you admit that Ocarina of Time isn't as good as Wind Waker?
No.
Too late.
I don't.
Your list says otherwise.
My list that I just made up on the spot. You're right. I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have done that, and I regret it. Now this will be forever engraved in our anniversary episode. Let's move on here to Purple Riolu's list of top 5 games. Animal Crossing New Leaf, Pokemon Omega Ruby, Pokemon Soul Silver, Mario Party 8, and Animal Crossing New Horizons. Hold on here. Mario Party 8? That does not belong on any top 5 list. I am sorry. That game's good, but top 5 of all time? Hello? What about Mario? What about Zelda? What about any other Nintendo first party series? Yeah, I'm baffled by this. I'm absolutely baffled. Now, I do think Mario Party 8 is one of the best in the Mario Party series. But top 5? I just don't think Mario Party deserves a spot in the top 5. That's how I feel. How do you feel about this list?
I would not put any of these games in my top 15, probably.
Soul Silver?
Soul Silver, that would be close in my top 15, but there are a lot of great games.
You would put Pokemon Silver in your top 10, right?
I don't know about that. I don't know.
Or
I'd go
Crystal.
with Crystal
Crystal. Yeah.
over anything. But I don't know. There are a lot of good games.
Yeah. Purple Raulu. And also after giving Maddie Beth such grief for Maddie Beth's list.
I thought I knew you.
Yeah, like, wow, how dare you put Breath of the Wild so low? And then it's not even on their list. What do you mean, Purple Raulu? What do you mean? That doesn't make any sense. But here's the explanation. I didn't want it to all be Pokemon and Animal Crossing, but I think these are some of the games that have impacted me the most.
So they also threw in Mario Party 8. So it wasn't just Animal Crossing and
you
Pokemon.
could have done something else. You could have done something better. Like any Zelda title would have been better in that slot. And we would have been like, this is a good list. This is a solid list. Maybe not our top 5. We're just really, I'm really giving Purple Riolu grief. We don't need to do this. I'm sorry. So let's go give grief to Spider Shan instead. Give us his top 5.
Number 1, Link to the Past. Then Super Mario Bros. 3, Final Fantasy 6, Tears of the Kingdom, and Tales of Symphonia.
I am not at all surprised by this list. I've listened, I've hung out enough in chats and things with Spider Shan to know that this was the list we were going to see. I am excited that Mario Bros. 3 is up here because Mario Bros. 3 is a fantastic Mario game.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Even better than Mario World, some might say.
None of these games would be in my top 5 except for Tears of the Kingdom, obviously, which would be my number 1. I mean, and the fact that like all of these games are pretty, I'm not going to say old, but they're all like
old school.
Old school.
It sounds
I mean, a lot of these games would be considered retro, right? This is Final Fantasy before it turned 3D. If you can count Final Fantasy 7 as a 3D game. I mean, it is, but barely a 3D game. But yeah, Final Fantasy 6 was kind of like the last like 2D. I think it's like peak of that style. Yeah, this is a good list. I'd say this is a solid list. Let's move on.
Yep.
Third strongest mole. Oh, wait. I got to read this comment here. It says, yep, I'm getting old and have played countless games over the years. It's really hard for me to do these lists because I'm to the point where it's really a list that shows what games are most impactful to me at the time of my life. And Dragon Quest deserves to be on my lists as well. I think that that's really what it comes down to, right? When you're picking top 5 games of all time, and you'll like see games that come up for a lot of people, and I think this is why Mario Party 8 is on Purple Riolu's list. Is it's like childhood impact.
Has to be the only Mario Party game they've played.
I mean, Parbrand in the chat here says that Mario Party 8 was their first Mario Party game. And so it's like, yeah, when you play, when it's like your first time experiencing a game in a series or your first time experiencing a game in general, and if it's during your like formative years, that's why I love Ocarina of Time as much as I do, for sure. It was just really impactful and hit me at impactful moments in my life. Whereas like Breath of the Wild is really impactful, but wasn't in my formative years at all. It's like, I guess it kind of is still formative years. I was in college. It's like my life was starting outside of school.
Your brain hadn't quite finished maturing.
Yeah, it was when my, what age is it when the brain like fully connects? It's like 24, something like that.
Yeah.
So actually would have been,
I think maybe.
yeah, it would have actually been around that time period that game came out. So maybe that's why. It's all chemical. It's all in the brain. What we've wired our brains. And so what game you're playing during your most formative years, that's the one that's going to impact you the most, which is why I need to make sure that my kids play nothing but Zelda until they are adults. Just kidding.
It's a good plan. Tell me how that goes.
Based off the fact that we have like 50 something Switch cartridges, it's not going well in that regard. So now let's move on to Third Strongest Moles list and the last list that we received for this question. Unless, actually, can you read off that list while I check Spotify? Any answers over there?
A little busy yawning and then stretching. Okay. They have at number 1 Mega Man X. That's Super Smash Bros. Melee. Then Earthbound. Then Castlevania Aria of Sorrow. And Crusader Kings 3 to top it off.
Very surprised by that. I mean, I've heard Crusader Kings is really good, but I haven't played that
I don't
series.
recall ever hearing the name of this game.
You've never heard of Crusader Kings?
Not that I recall.
What? This is like a classic podcast moment where someone says something and you're like, what's that? And then the other host is like,
Why is Crusader?
You've never heard of Crusader
How
Kings?
new is Crusader Kings?
I mean, this is the third game in the series, so it's been around for a long time.
It's $50. It's only released like 3 years ago.
Yeah, this is the game where you pick like you got like a royal you're like a royal family taking over doing crusades.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, I'm surprised you've never heard of this.
Yeah,
like genuinely, I know I was playing it
familiar.
up for the bit, but like genuinely, I'm surprised you hadn't heard of this before.
I mean, it's kind of a generic sounding name, so maybe I just forgot about it.
It is kind of a generic sounding name. It kind of sounds like a mobile game that you'd see an ad for.
Yeah, exactly.
That has that like cartoony like princess like you know what ad
I
I'm
just
talking
assumed
about.
this was like a 1990s game based off of the name.
I think the original one is Crusader Kings 1. Oh no, it came out in 2004. 2004. And then Crusader Kings 2 in 2012, and Crusader Kings 3 in 2020. So 8 years between each game. So we're due for another one here in 4 years. Crusader Kings 4. Let's go. Boom. And the question, why does Crusader Kings 3 end in 1453? The first is the disappearance of many medieval hallmarks. The Byzantine Empire is officially dead. Oh, okay.
That's
cool.
I guess.
Cool game. Cool sounding game. Besides that, how do you feel about this list? I already said Mario, but Melee is overrated. I already said Mario's overrated.
Yep.
Smash Bros. Melee is overrated, but Smash Bros. Smash Bros. As a series, great series and great game, and that is one of the best in the series. So it's fair to be up there on the top 5.
I mean,
can I say that
Earthbound had to be on the list, of course.
Story mode for Melee, really good.
Mm-hmm.
Where you like play through like the worlds. That's fun. Anywho, Mega Man X. I know nothing. I know so little about Mega Man.
Well, that's like the 10th one.
Oh, I thought it was just like Mega Man X Extreme. Cool, but it's like Roman numeral 10. Is that accurate? Are you sure about that? I don't think
you'll never know.
True.
What are you
Mega
talking
Man
about?
X.
How could it not be?
I don't think it is, actually. Mega Man X and Mega Man 10 are different games.
That doesn't make sense.
Yeah, you were wrong.
I don't think I was. I think you were wrong.
Oh, I need to go blow my nose. Following
Will I what?
Wallow in failure.
Wallow in fail?
Yeah, wallow and fail.
Seems like maybe you should be wallowing in failure.
I think my nose is still running.
Mega Man X.
Ugh. Ugh. Is Mega Man X Mega Man 10? Is third strongest small here in the chat?
Definitely.
So this isn't the same game as Mega Man X?
Guess we may never know.
No, because then there's Mega Man X2. Mega Man.
Yeah. 12, in other words.
You
just skipped 11.
So oh my goodness. Okay, well.
Is this 3D? What in the world am I looking at?
Mega Man, the only series to devolve graphically back to its original graphics style. Such an odd choice, but they did it.
Sonic.
So this list doesn't surprise me too much for third strongest small, but also none of these games be on my list. But also, I've played very few of these games. I've never played Mega Man X, Castlevania, Area of Sorrow, Crusader Kings. I don't think I've ever actually played
Earthbound.
No, not yet. Even though we have it
through
NSO, right? Don't we have that on NSO? That's on NSO.
Probably.
I hope it is.
All I know is I played it somewhere, and that's probably where I played it.
Yeah. Well, there you have it, folks. That's everybody's top fives. We reacted to them. You guys have some good games in your list, but from what I'm seeing, it's very much what people are voting for top fives. It's not based off of what games are the best, but more off which are most impactful to the individual. And that's really what gaming's about anyway, right? Like, play games you enjoy. Don't play games because it's good game. Yeah. And with that, we're going to wrap things up here and go to our final segment. Mike, are you ready?
I was born ready.
All right. So now is time for the PAL topic. Today's PAL topic. We went to Nintendo World to celebrate the 4-year anniversary of this PAL podcast. Why don't we share us up this video here? We are going to be talking about.
I feel like your mic got kind of weird.
My mic got weird?
Oh, now it sounds better. Maybe it's just because
the music was going at the same time. Hello and welcome to Super Nintendo World. This is us. If you're watching the video version of the podcast, we will have our recording of us here on the side while we talk through our experience. We actually had lapel mics wired up and we're recording and did not actually set the camera to use the lapel mics. So our audio kind of all
tested to see if they worked.
Yes.
But not when we actually used them. Yeah. Apparently.
So we're going to be seeing basically our trip to Nintendo World here, and we had a blast. I got my son with his hand like totally in his pants. I didn't proof watch this ahead of time, so there you go.
The third pocket.
The third.
You got the regular 2 pockets, and then third pocket.
So let's talk a little bit here. We'll kind of jump around the video as we discuss, but we're looking at
all the sweet merch,
the power bracelets, the power bands. And when you first get to Universal, and this was in California, so Universal Studios in California is interesting. It's actually in Hollywood. So it's like built on lots in Hollywood. So they're like different layers to the park, which I think is an interesting choice for a theme park.
Yeah,
I've
it's
never
kind of a
seen it.
hassle to go down like 4 escalators with
Yeah. Well, and also
strollers.
parking was weird, and getting to the park was weird. It all felt very weird, but we did see the Hollywood sign. That was cool. So these magic brands. So when you first get into the park, Universal does this in Florida as well. You have to go through their, I think it's called City Walk, and it's basically just an outdoor shopping mall, right? And so this first spot that we're showing in our video here now is in the City Walk. There's a Nintendo store. And that is where we got our, what are these called? Power bands?
That sounds about right.
You're going to have Nintendo World Power Up Band. It's called the Power Up Band.
Power Up Band.
And we knew we were going to need to get power bands for each of us and then my kids. So we ended up buying 5 power bands. And let me tell you, those are not cheap. They run about 42 a piece. And I got the special edition 1-year anniversary one, which is a gold Mario band, which I think is very cool looking, slick looking, but it was $47. It came in a cooler box. You were paying for the box. And that's on top of entry to the park, which, what did that run? Like 120 a person? Micah sneezing. He doesn't know.
I don't know. Yep, I made myself sneeze because I didn't know.
Well, we ended up getting we got Yoshi, Peach, Gold Mario, Luigi, and Toad. Take that, Daisy. Get out of here, Daisy.
Take
Nobody
that,
likes
Raisin
Daisy.
Mario.
Yeah. And so we were deciding which ones we should get. So then we looked around at the merch inside the Nintendo World Store. You could get the Mario Kart themed popcorn bucket, which was $40. It is cool looking, a really cool display piece.
Yeah,
But then you
very
could
little
also get
popcorn actually fits in it.
Yeah, but then also you had that Star one, which looked super cheap, and it was the same price.
But it would fit a lot
wild.
more popcorn.
And they had these cool hats. I had the Goomba hat. I think we're gonna see Micah here in a second as Toad, which was quite a good experience.
But maybe not.
Maybe not though.
Skip ahead.
There it is, Micah putting on the Toad hat. Again, if you're not watching the video version of this podcast, you're missing out on our on the video that we're commentating.
I had to smell it to make sure it wasn't like real weird.
It's such a good look on you, man. Toad head. So then
I'm not sure I agree.
Then we went to the Power Up Cafe, and that also wasn't in Nintendo World. That was in the park after City Walk. So you go through City Walk, and then you go into Universal Studios. And so we hopped in to and also shout out to Blondie, who joined us for this trip. Blondie is one of our community members and one of our mods. And she's awesome. She came with her kiddo, so she'll be in the videos a bunch. We tried what is this drink called? The green
Good question.
soda,
So 1-Up something,
which is
AKA 7-Up. I heard
Sprite with green food coloring in it. It looks nice.
Well, they have those little bubble things, and then
But we also got the glitter popcorn, the Star Power popcorn, and it had like glitter in the popcorn that you ate. I think it's edible glitter, hopefully.
yeah, I assume so. They're like, yeah, make sure to just pick out all the glitter.
Yeah, here, I'll unmute here. It just tastes like Sprite.
It is. Really expensive Sprite.
That was.
It is pretty. It's a pretty drink.
Yeah, it's
Like
like
only
13
I can
bucks.
taste the apple.
And this is the apple. Those are the apple flavored things.
Yeah. Oh, it had like boba things in it. That had like the apple in it. So then, like Micah mentioned earlier, we had to ride these escalators down to the actual park. And these were long escalators. And there were like
I feel like it took
four
like
of them.
8 minutes.
And you have
get
to take
down.
your stroller down the escalator, which is so weird. Here you can like my camera makes it look really small. It did look really small from far away. Hear all the so pumped. Yeah, it's not very impressive looking from a distance. I mean, it is impressive looking somewhat, but it looks like it's going to be really small. So then entering in, you go through the warp pipe. It has the warp pipe sound effect. And then you're instantly in Princess Peach's castle. And vibes here, really, really good. I think that they like nailed the aesthetic. It's super cool. What are your thoughts here, Micah? How did you feel about the park vibes in general?
I thought it was super cool.
Yeah, good. You in real time, you just thumbs up. It's pretty good. Can you explain the story behind what's going on and like why we have the power bands?
Oh yeah, Bowser Jr. stole the golden mushroom and gave some key pieces or key coin things. I don't know what they're actually called, to his henchmen. So we had to go around to all these spots and get the those keys so we could go face Bowser Jr. himself to get the golden mushroom back.
They're like interactive mini games that kind of just feel like Mario Party-esque mini games that you play. And there were lines for each of those attractions because there's how many were there? 6?
There were, I think, there were either 5 or 6, but one of them was in some like hidden location that we couldn't actually get to, apparently, like on the second floor.
Yeah, it's up in that ice in that icy area. If you're watching the video, there's that ice zone up there. So there's the gold bracelet. There's Micah rocking his Yoshi bracelet. My son down there with the Toad. Oh yeah, I forgot about the banana peel wet floor signs. Those are awesome. What a cool thing. Can I put in a formal complaint though to Nintendo World for their ropes, which are not attached? So like the ropes that form the lines,
little kids to knock over.
They are, and my kids knock them over frequently, but I watched other kids around the park also like knock them over as they're like leaning into them or whatever. They just aren't all attached, which is fine, but you need to make those heavier or something. I don't know. They just didn't. They didn't work very good. They fit the aesthetic though. So the first thing we did when we got into the parks was we went up to what is this mini game called? Spin the Goomba mini game. And in order to get the key, you have to knock the Blondie is like, I'm so late to the party, but I'm here in the chat. My kid didn't knock any over. Yeah, that's true. But Blondie was also holding her kid most of the time. So in this mini game, you need to knock the Goomba off of like a rolling platform, and you do that by rolling the platform faster and faster. We could maybe jump ahead here to when we're actually playing. Yeah, so you can kind of see it. I'm pointing to it here in the video. It's Muggles Moo.
It's
close up
nose.
Oh yeah, they had those little mushroom stools. I'd already forgotten about those. Those were cool. Nice shaded areas.
They look like toys for children to jump on, but they are not.
Right. They don't want people jumping on them. And that is a mistake for how they made these. They definitely look like something you would jump on. But I did like the idea of having these giant mushrooms as sort of shade. So there is my son. He beat the Goomba. So this is weird. I don't know how I feel about the mini games in general, but it's like you put your wristband up to the trigger to activate it, and then you can play the game. And then you have to put your trigger your thing up to it after you beat the game in order to get the key. And that makes sense, but like in execution, this all feels very clunky. There has to be an attendant there making sure only one person's going at a time. And for safety, like you can only have one person up at the crank at a time. And so I couldn't help my kids do it, which was like just that felt weird to me. And this all feels like you're going up to a crank, cranking a machine, and it feels like, why is there a line? And people, yeah, it just feels weird. It feels like it shouldn't be this complicated for how simple of a thing this is, right? How do you feel about it, Micah?
Maybe. Well, you wouldn't want a small child to hurt themselves on a crank.
I'm just talking in general for this like mini game experience. You wouldn't want an adult like me to hurt themselves either. Look at me like throwing out my back.
Like you almost hurt yourself.
Yeah, and there goes Micah at cruising speeds here.
It's one-handed. It's the way to go for sure.
The Goomba dies instantly.
Well, I realized, I don't know if you were holding the knob or the actual other cylinder part, but that cylinder thing just twists.
Yes.
Don't
hold the knob. So. Yeah. And then you have these interactive like blocks everywhere that you can punch to earn coins. As you can see, my kids having a blast punching the question block. But there's also just the brown blocks, and they've got kind of like a rubber matting underneath that you're supposed to hit with the hand that has the band on it, and it'll go up until it runs out of coins.
And as you can see, they're child-sized, so the children can fit under there real easy to punch it.
Yeah, well, they have ones that are higher up too. But yeah,
like
they weren't designed for 2 6'5" guys like us.
Yeah, 6'5".
Well, we're both 6'1", 6'2". Micah's slightly taller than me.
That's right.
But we're both tall. So those are everywhere, and the goal is to collect the most coins, and there's like a leaderboard for each of the characters. I remember that. Wait, I can pull that up here on my phone right now because I still have that.
Yeah, it's still there.
Universal Studios. Sign in. No, I just want to.
Do I want to allow them to scan my face? Sure. It's the worst that can happen.
Okay, so
they already know what my face looked like.
The rankings go up, and they change every hour, something like that, every 2 hours.
I think it's like quicker than that. I feel like it's every like 30 minutes. Something. I feel like every time I look,
this says ends in 39 minutes, but I don't know how.
All right. Every time I looked, it was like 20 minutes or less.
Yeah, so there's a daily leaderboard, an all-time leaderboard, and then a character team leaderboard for who can collect the most coins. And you get coins from the mini games, but you also get them from interacting with the blocks. You're also collecting stamps. Is another thing that you need to look out for, which I know we have video of that, which we'll jump around to. Oh yeah, there's Micah punching a POW block, triggering several coins.
Yep, I was crushing it.
Yeah, so there's a lot of these little interactive areas where you punch blocks and do things with that. There's
the one spot where slightly taller people didn't have to bend down as much.
Right there.
Yeah.
You're laughing about it in the video as well. You're like, oh, hey, that one's for us.
Lucas was jumping up to reach it.
Yeah, it's good times here. I still have to crouch.
Yeah. That you just have your extra wide stance you were doing there.
Yeah, you can only hit the blocks a certain amount of times before it's like empty.
Where it's like, calm down.
It just really makes me wonder these people that are on the leaderboards for all time that have
Well, someone had like 500,000 coins or something.
500,000 and 500,000,4894.
I think I got just under 2,000 while
That's Genimal Huzzah. Shout out to you, Genimal_Huzzah, for having the most. And that's in first place by a long shot, too, by the way. Second place is 388,000 coins.
How embarrassing. Only 388,000.
And it's Yoshi for first place, which I knew.
That's right.
I remember you saying you were happy about. So next up in the like mini game experiences that we got to do was a timer challenge with I guess it's to defeat a piranha plant. The piranha plant is kind of overseeing it. And the piranha plants look really good, right? I thought they looked really good.
I wasn't 100% sure what the logic behind having to hit these clocks though was.
I mean, it feels like a timer mini game that would be in game where it's like collect the coins before the time runs out. And those are timers that are definitely in the games. See, these people here that we're watching right now, not playing it the right way. You got to go fast.
Pretty sure they succeeded though, didn't they? Maybe not.
Yeah, as you'll see here, it was a team of me and my 3 kids, and then a team of Micah, Blondie, and Mugglemoo. And me and the kids got it. We got them all. Wait, did that worker just hit one?
Wait. Yeah, that worker had been helping people out like the whole time.
Oh, what a champ! They deserve a raise. Can we get a shout out to that employee? Holy cow! What a hero! Because you guys aren't running.
Well, we noticed we just stand in our spots and we're golden.
No, you didn't. You weren't golden. You lost. You didn't
sort
get
of, but that's because someone missed one or something. I don't even know where it was.
Maybe it was at the front. Maybe the worker wasn't helping you guys.
I think it was because I feel like everywhere else we were golden. We don't see any.
Blondie says it was me. No, blame Micah. We have to blame Micah. It was Team Micah. It was your band. So by completing these mini games, if you complete it successfully, you earn a key, and you needed to earn three keys.
Yep.
In order to do the Baby Bowser Jr. I constantly want to call him Baby Bowser Jr. boss battle. Those two kids messing with the flowers.
Spinning.
So I failed to mention that the first thing we did when we got into the park was set up a reservation for the restaurant, and that's Toad's Cafe. But you have to set up a reservation because it's really busy, and so we had an hour and a half before our reservation, or 2 hours before our reservation kicked off.
Yeah.
So we started going out and doing experiences, and then they have characters that come out regularly. And the first character we got to meet with was Toad. Whoop. There's me helping my child up. And so then we jump up to meet with Toad. he was so upset because he knocked over the thing. But the Toad character. Wait, how tall? Hold on. Because you the person operating as Toad was shorter than my wife, who is just just a couple inches over
Yeah,
5
I wonder
foot.
if they had to crash down quite a bit.
No, I know, at least for Disney, because my sister works with Disney character attendants, that they hire based off your height if you can fit in the costumes. So they just must have to find really short people to do the Toad
Be
costume.
Toad.
Yeah, it has to be a really small person. There's my son sporting all of the wristbands
The
at once.
Infinity wristband.
He was the Thanos of Vans. We had everybody but Daisy. Yeah.
Is she doing your snap?
The Thanos snap. Yeah, I remember we were having that discussion. And so I guess next up we did the POW block challenge. This one was interesting. The POW block challenge is all about you got to punch the POW block and then they trigger each other, and you have to do that in time to hit a shell up to get the key. And spoiler alert, Micah didn't get this one either.
Nope. I was betrayed.
Wait, did we not do this one next? Oh yeah, we did. Okay, I'm jumping around here.
Because everyone had the same timing. Except for me.
Yep.
Because which I didn't notice, but someone pointed out afterwards that apparently a Bowser Jr. laughed before it started for me.
Right.
So mine had like an extra long delay, and I didn't realize, and I was wondering if it was just being wonky and broken. I was like, is it going to go back to its normal timing, or am I supposed to adjust to this new timing? And alas, I did not adjust quite fast enough.
Yeah. You get like 3-ish tries before it says you can't do it anymore. So I think I got it first try. Oh, and this is the other thing. So you see what's happening right now in the video is the game activated again. Because my daughter, because this is what, if you win the game, you go and put your band up to it again. But if you lose, you don't. So she went up and put her band up to it because that's what we had done for the previous 2 games. And then the attendee's like, oh, we'll just have to let it run. And that just feels so clunky. It's like, what? You don't have a way to shut it off or like reset it? And so we just had to like sit there and wait for it to run again.
And then you almost forgot to scan your reward.
Yeah, I almost forgot to scan. What is that face I'm making? I look so serious. Yeah, you look at Micah's timing.
Look at that delay.
Way slow. Yeah, you look shocked.
I was like, excuse me. What? So I went for the normal timing again right before it goes in. I'm like, no, it's still going like. I was like, is this normal? And then that was my last try, I think.
Yeah. It's tough.
Oh.
That's tough. He didn't deserve that loss. Even my son is done. He's like, what? How?
I tried my best.
So for those keeping track, so far Micah has won 1, lost 2, and I have won all 3.
Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day,
we all got 3 keys somehow.
I don't know how I got 3 keys, if I'm being honest. They just gifted me keys at some point randomly.
It was sympathy. They're like, he's tried so many games.
He's been here long enough. Yeah, because I should have only gotten 2, but I definitely ended up with 3 at the end somehow. Oh yeah, and then they had a couple hidden spots.
Yeah, you hit the token on things and
crazy well there, but they're like 8-bit versions of characters.
I think. Oh, are we gonna see the video of my son? Yeah, this is the best. He was getting like a running start, and he's like, look at this, Dad. I'm like, okay, show me. Boom. You get the 8-bit Bowser. And he's like, ready, Dad? Boom. It's so fun for kids, but I will say that like if you're going with a family, this is going to cost you an extra. This was like an extra $200 for the bands, and you need the bands in order to do basically anything because there's only one ride. Oh, you can do
Yeah,
the you can see the characters.
Unless you're planning on just like visiting for like an hour or so and then like heading out, essentially, that like you need the bands because there's not much to do without them.
Right. So then we did this minigame. We did a lot more before eating than I remember. And this minigame was just like the games. You need to flip over all the tiles, and they're the question blocks.
Arlo
That'll
just
be
in
blue.
every single one.
Yeah. Yeah, and we failed twice, but luckily you get
Yeah, we did. I also didn't realize at first that the ones with arrows they like also affect the ones next to them. Which I mean, the kids, I don't think picked up on at all.
No, I didn't pick up on that. I had no idea.
Me and Arlo trying to get that last one. I think he was hitting it too much, but not quite hard enough. So like, if someone else also hit it, it didn't do anything. But
yeah, and so then we all got our keys. Yeah, and you keep track of all of the coins that you earn and the keys and stamps that you find with the app. So as long as you link up your Magic Band, and again, my son hit the band up to it, and the attendants are like, "Oh, we're just gonna have to let that run for the next group." It's like, what? That's so clunky. Yeah. They should have the ability for the person there to click the off button. They already have somebody there. Yeah, that
it wouldn't be crazy to add something like that in,
and it would save a lot of people time in lines. We're gonna see coming up here one of my favorite parts of the like aesthetics for the park, and that is those green question block bushes, which are fake. come to find out, those are completely fake plants. There are real plants surrounding them, but it's just like that's such a cool look. Also, we got Maddie Beth popping into chat here. Hello, Maddie Beth. Good to see you. But yeah, it was so like it just looks so cool, and I now want to like buy question blocks and just do this with bushes at my house. Let me just make question block bushes. It's a fun, simple way. And there's another question block that you could just like hit. This is probably very weird for our audio only listeners. As we're just kind of describing a video here, but yeah, that was I really like the aesthetic of the park in general. It feels like you're in a Mario world and it feels like you're in a Mario game. The band bracelet game things they all feel like Mario Party mini games. Hold on, it looks like we're making some comments here, so maybe we should back up.
That means you lose coins.
No, that just means it's empty. That just means it's empty. Dude, the gold band looks sick.
He's like, okay.
I like it.
Although Sloan pointed out, kind of just looks like a Wario.
Killing it, Micah. Yeah. Oh my God. We've got so many keys. Do we have enough keys to go into the Bowser?
You do.
I do?
Yeah.
Sweet.
I think you had enough before that one.
Bonnie says the bands need a time clock. Oh, yeah. We found some of the hidden Pikmin. There's more than that there, but that's the only one we saw.
There are two bunches.
Did you see the other one? I don't think I saw the other one.
Yeah, I pointed out. Yeah, it was higher up on one of the walls.
Well, anywho, the bands need a time clock. Agreed. For how much you're paying for, they should be a little clock. But we did find out afterwards that they function as amiibo. Did I tell you about this?
So now I have two Yoshi amiibo.
Now you have two Yoshi amiibo.
The only amiibo I have. Two of them.
You now have two of them. And here, this is a still picture of the bathroom because I didn't want to take a video in the bathroom.
Too much of a weirdo.
We went to Disney as well as Universal, and I will say that Universal has nicer bathrooms, first off. Second off, they have themed bathrooms. So that one is like playing like underwater level music. Go back to the picture, and it has that. What is this? That
I think you
rendered
went.
poorly.
Yeah, where are we?
Who knows? Who knows what's going
We'll
on
never
here?
find it again.
Um,
Oh yeah, and then the pipes kind of look like they have little seating areas on the edges, but you're not supposed to sit there because apparently it's a fire hazard. Or if there's a fire, they don't want people kind of clogging up the entrance.
yeah, they kicked us out of this spot, but also it's really hot because you're
Yeah.
in like a bowl. Like the whole thing is built, and so it just like it feels like it's baking in there. Yeah, so they had the underwater mural in here, and the music playing in here was underwater New Super
But
Mario
those
Bros. Levels.
water faucets were like the worst.
Yeah,
I
they
feel like
weren't
they're
that
so
great.
weak and like kind of far away. And it's like
Yeah,
I feel like
well,
for kids,
leaves-
this would be really difficult.
Yeah,
Like they
Yeah.
definitely need assistance to wash their hands.
but they have 2-ply toilet paper instead of. Disney uses
Respect.
the cheapest toilet paper. It's like
Quarter ply.
yeah, it's horrible. And so Universal got a one up there. Yeah, that you were gonna say something. I cut you
Yeah,
off.
well, I was gonna question your toilet paper choices. I know in your one of the times I visited in the children's bathroom, you had like 1/80th ply toilet paper. Sometimes
Yeah,
it's
that
hard for me
was
to
cheap.
tell.
That was
I'd pick it
cheap.
up and I'd be like, "Am I holding it? Is it? I don't know if there's anything here."
So this video rendered poorly because it started this way, but there are these kiosks as well that give you your stats and things that the app gives you that you can go up to and see your character, and it shows your score and your name. So then after that, we had just a little bit of time before our restaurant reservation opened up. So we hit up the merch store inside park, which is bigger than the one on City Walk,
Essentially the same though.
but it has all the exact same stuff. Yeah. The City Walk one was way less busy. I'm glad we got our bands there versus in the park. And also the bands, they're reusable. So if we go back, which we plan to go to the opening for the one in Florida, we'll be able to use those again. T-shirts and stuff are really cool. Micah and I each got matching Nintendo Pals themed Mario Kart Super Nintendo World shirts. It's got the Universal sticker on it.
Sticker on it? Wow.
My kids got a Mario and Luigi hoodie. And my daughter got a Princess Peach headband she really wanted, which I don't feel like is ever gonna get used. But she likes it. Whereas the jackets felt like a good purchase, so they're gonna use those. Yeah, a lot of fun. The merchandise there is all really cool. It's a little pricey.
Yeah.
Pretty quality stuff. I'd say this is a really nice T-shirt, and the T-shirt's really nice.
Yeah, we'll see if it starts to fade, but it feels nice.
Yeah, it feels like it's pretty solid.
They had a cooler Yoshi shirt, but it did not feel nice.
It's like a jersey,
Yeah, I was like, oh yeah.
Yeah, they had several of those for each of the characters. Yeah, get the Luigi headband, which she was not a fan of. So after we shopped around for a while, like I feel like I've taken enough videos of what's. Oh, you can get the Universal Mario Kart trophy. You can kind of see the gears and the animations they have for that. The interior of the store is pretty nice. It's better theming than the one on City Walk, which just is kind of just a store.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pajamas, shirts, lots of Mario Kart stuff. They had a lot of metal signs, which weren't like crazy expensive. And were pretty cool. They have some cool stuff. If I had unlimited money, then
If only
then I would have picked up more stuff.
you
But we
go for
ended up
that
just
number
getting
1 spot. You could come back every single day for a year to get more than 500,000 coins.
yeah. That
I
has to
wonder
be
if
like
that's just a worker.
yeah, or it's like a shared band that a bunch of people use. That would
That'd be funny.
all right, so let's skip ahead here. I took a lot of video in the store.
Yeah, I figured we spent a long time in there.
All right, so let's skip ahead here. Did I not get any external video of Toad's Cafe
Seems like that'd have
from
been
outside?
a mistake.
Well, we're starting right in the entrance. So inside the entrance, you're first greeted by Chef Toad, who has a slight French accent. And then you've got this weird, horrible line system. Horrible. I feel bad for this worker because essentially you come in and then the worker will say, okay, go to line 1 through, I think there's like 7 lines. And then you go up to order. They give you like cups and things from your order on a tray. And then they have you walk back around. So picture the lines are all here. The restaurant is to the left. They have you walk back around the right side of all the lines to cut back to where you get into the lines to get over to where there are tables. It's a horrible system. Like very poorly managed line, I would say. It's like, why not just have everybody move to the left over by the tables? Or better yet, why is this a order at the counter restaurant? They bring you the food. So why not just go the extra little bit and have waiters and waitresses that come and take your order? It just feels weird to me. That, especially for how much you spend here. Golly, this food is expensive. Yeah. Yeah, how did you feel about it, Mike? I know you and I both talked about it a little bit afterwards. We're like, yeah, this is a weird.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it was designed the best.
Yeah.
Although, I mean, the food was expensive, but I feel like all food was expensive there. And
yes,
for
that
like
wasn't
$2 less at a different place, I got 3 chicken strips and some tater tots, and I felt like the food here was much better.
Was that at Disneyland?
Oh, maybe that was at Disneyland actually.
I feel like the food was
like
more expensive at Universal. But Disneyland is like really hit or miss depending on which restaurant you go to.
Yeah. And I thought the food was good, but it was just like 3 chicken strips and tater tots for like $15. It's like, that's just real simple.
Well, the food here was like 26 a plate or something like that, if I recall correctly.
I think it was like 17.
Was it?
I thought the Mario burgers we got were 17. I could be, maybe I'm just remembering wrong.
$16.99. Okay, you're right. But as you can see, for anybody watching the video, the restaurant has this. The windows around are actually screens, and half of the screens look into the kitchen. And then half of them look to outside. And periodically, maybe like every 20 minutes or so, Bowser raids the place. And so you'll see Bowser's airship go by, the lights all get a little darker, and then all the toads are like, ah! That are outside the windows. They're getting hit with bullet. Well, they're not getting hit with, but they're getting chased by bullet bills and things. And it's pretty fun. I think that the restaurant has a cool vibe. I liked it. Yeah.
Yep.
Um,
It's a big hit with the kids.
yeah, the kids really liked it. Those chairs, those are hefty chairs that look like they're made of wood,
Oh
but they're
yeah,
actually
those
made of
chairs were
metal.
like crazy heavy.
Yeah. Yeah, Blondie
Yeah,
puts
and
it the
Blondie
best
says,
here in the cafe.
yeah,
Yeah, go. You were gonna read the comment, and
uh,
you're speaking
yeah,
better
she
than
says
me.
it's the Rainforest Cafe for Mario.
Exactly. I mean, I think Rainforest Cafe has more like animatronics and stuff in it, which cool. But this is like it's going for a similar vibe here, right? Like a themed restaurant. Man, how cool would it be if those pipes in the ceiling were where your food came?
Yeah, it just drops out for you.
That'd be cool. Um, that's I think that's about it as far as like the restaurant vibes go. It looks really nice. It's a good place to chill. You can see us being cheap, getting waters for everybody.
Heck yeah.
So now let's move on to the foodstuffs here as they brought out the food. There was the salad, the superstar salad. Blondie also got the appetizer, the like garlic bread bites. Those were meh. The salad was also kind of meh. The burger was pretty good. It wasn't the most
Yeah.
incredible burger I've ever had, but it wasn't bad.
Yeah, it wasn't like crazy flavorful, but I mean, it was definitely a solid burger and very filling.
Yeah, the kids' meals I think came with the most stuff. Right? We got spaghetti for my two youngest, and that came with like a little like bread
Chocolate
cookie.
cookie thing.
Yeah, yeah. There was the chocolate coin cookie, and then we also, for the sake of the podcast, got one of each of the desserts. Let's all pause it here as we talk through goodness, what the desserts look like. So I don't remember the names of these, but you have like the little platform cake, which was like
What
a
was that?
layered cake. And there was the Princess Peach cupcake. And then I don't remember what the question block thing was called.
Tiramisu something.
Yeah. So between those three desserts, which was your favorite?
I think probably actually just the cupcake.
The cupcake. I think the layered cake was the best one. The cupcake wasn't bad, and the tiramisu was not good. I didn't like it. I did not like that at all. But overall, all of them were pretty meh as far as desserts go. Like that cupcake looks incredible. It tasted fine. It wasn't like
I mean, it tasted like a cupcake.
I don't. Yeah, but like not a.
I mean,
good
not even like a
cupcake.
fancy cupcake. Just
Exactly.
kind of a
Just
generic
tasted
cupcake
like-
you get.
Yeah, exactly. That's I think the best way to describe it. So
And I was
overall,
like, is that for me?
we're like, nope, we're gonna share it with everybody. Yeah, we got pictures of the foods. The Mario burger, which we saved the little plastic hat pieces and things. The kids' meals came with like a little Mario standee. Yeah, it was good stuff. Overall, I'd say it was good. It wasn't great. I don't know, like, how worth it would you say it was to go to Toad Cafe?
It was a pretty cool experience. A pretty cool, kind of expensive experience.
Yeah, I don't think the food is worth it.
Yeah, but
If-
the
if I'm
food's
being
not worth
100%
it
honest.
anywhere inside Universal. So
I mean,
I
I
feel
don't know
like
that. We
compared to,
haven't
like-
we haven't eaten at very many places in Universal. We had
That's
the
true.
snacks and we had this. But
But
I
they're
feel
charging
like
$5.50 for premium water everywhere
Yeah,
you go. So
I
I feel like
I feel like for what you get, it's like passing. Not good, but passing, if that makes sense. I wouldn't say like that was a good restaurant, But the vibes of the restaurant, fantastic. Like that trash can with the banana peel, it just all looks so nice and Mario-esque.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had a good time with it. I give the food a C plus. No, I give the food maybe a C or a C minus. But the restaurant itself, I'd give like an A plus. It was
I mean,
really fun
is
to be in.
the price lowering the rating of the food?
I don't think so. I just think the food was like not exceptional. I already don't really remember it, like what it tastes like.
I think I'd give that burger like a B
A B?
plus.
Yeah, and the fries were pretty
I thought it
generic,
was pretty good.
standard
Yeah.
fries.
Probably close to just a regular B, I guess. But yeah.
So that was the experience with the restaurant. So then, yeah, now here's a good shot. You can see, oh, that crane. That crane's probably
crane.
building their Donkey Kong exhibit. But as you can see here from this shot, this is a bowl. Like it's very much like tall structures surrounding a circular area, and so it heats up in there. It gets really hot. So then after the restaurant, we Blondie had to duck out. So shout out to Blondie once again for coming on hanging out with us. That was super fun to meet Blondie in person and meet little Blondie in person. They were super fun to hang out with. But after the restaurant, they ducked out and we headed over to do the Bowser experience. Maddie Beth in the chat says they're excited to go to Universal Studios Japan in just a few weeks. Jealous.
Cool.
Very
That'd
jealous.
be cool.
You'll get another ride because the one in California only has one ride, the Mario Kart ride. And the one in Japan has the Yoshi ride. But when it opens in Florida finally someday, it'll have 3 rides.
Finally someday.
Yeah. So wait, we didn't we gotta go back. Did we miss we did.
Yeah, I think it's slightly before that one. Yeah, the Bowser Jr. block you could hit.
Yeah. So this Bowser Jr. block that you punch suddenly blasted out air and scared my sons. It's so funny. Arlo's reaction time there, maybe I should be concerned. He was like, oh no. He like walked away from it pretty casually. But inside here you could interact with a couple blocks. There's this treasure here that you could interact with, and then the worker just standing there like, are you gonna come play the game or what are you doing?
Yeah.
And it's like, come on, man. Like there's so much stuff to look at. Because when you go in to play the game, there's actually weren't there like 12 spots? Something like that?
Yeah, I think it was about 12.
Yeah, so it's just Micah, me, and the 3 kiddos. So everybody that had a match band, because my wife went and helped Blondie get everything loaded up for her journey home with a little one. So yeah, then once you hang out in this little intro area, you then go in and well, I guess I can kind of just let the audio speak for itself here. Let's see if I recorded it.
Good. When bob-ombs are tossed at you, use your arms to swat them away. Got it? Swat bob-ombs away. When bullet bills fly toward you, duck to dodge them. Don't forget, duck to dodge bullet bills.
They give you the instructions, and the person talking in the instructions is talking as if they are on Dora the Explorer. Don't forget. They say the same thing twice in a row every single time. They're like, swat, swat, swat. Yeah, definitely designed for kids. But us full-grown men, we were going to
we understood right away.
We knew. And so jumping in, I forgot to record the first half of the battle. So we're just coming in hot into this fight here. It's like a projector game, I guess. It projects your shadow onto the screen. And if you get hit, you'll shrink. As you can see, let's see if we see anybody get hit by something. At this point,
Boom. Bomb just bonked off Arlo's head.
why does Arlo look like a Lego minifigure? You see that? So you
then we had to jump.
finish, and then you jump to the top of Super Nintendo World, and we unlocked the gold mushroom.
Oh, what's
Also,
that? 30 whole coins? Wow.
Can we talk about how, like, why is the gold mushroom so important? That's never been an important item in anything.
It's kind of important.
I mean,
Mario Kart.
It lets you go faster in Mario Kart. Why wasn't it like a star or a grand star?
Because they had stars in the mini game.
Yeah, that just felt like a weird thing. Like, I got the golden mushroom. I think someone at Universal misunderstood what that was. Some higher up was like, they need to be going for something really important. Or like,
something gold.
Mario, let's look up Mario power-ups. What's the most important one? Golden mushroom. That's got to be it. And then Miyamoto was like, sure, yeah.
Why not?
Yeah, I guess so. It was, yeah, that is a weird thing to be like the final prize to unlock. But you get it, and it unlocks a stamp on the app for you. So then we went and met with Princess Peach. Character meet and greet for Princess Peach, which I think is pretty cool.
Oh, you look spectacular.
Princess Peach talks to you.
Wow, you've collected so many coins.
She says a lot of pre-recorded generic stuff, but it does.
That's so fun.
There is somebody controlling it.
Maggie, can you have him take a picture with your
Here we
phone?
go. Smile.
Let's go do a picture, everybody.
So then we all got in for a picture with Princess Peach. I thought that the character costume was cool. Talking about it with Mugglesmoo after, she was like, I think that Disney's characters are more animated. Like, they just hire better.
They trust them to say things themselves.
Well, they don't say things themselves.
Never?
No, and the character attendant will tell you they're saving their voice for the movies. That's so in there are some characters that do. Yeah, except some characters do. You've got Iron Man, Black Panther, and a bunch of other characters that wear masks will talk. Actually, Black Panther, no, that was just a person talking in that one. But that I think the costume and the like interactive speaking was cool, and the fact that her mouth moves to match that. But the people in the costume just weren't as like animated as they are at Disney. And I don't know if that was just, I mean, those costumes have to be wildly uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, they can only be out there for like 20 minutes or so before they need to go in for a break, and they rotate through the characters. So the one thing we did not get to do is Mike and I did not get to get a picture with Mario and Luigi. They were very popular. So every time they came out, their line filled up instantly, all the way full.
It's usually all the way full, at least a couple times all the way full before they even came out.
Yep. And we went on what, a Wednesday or a Tuesday? It was like not a busy day.
It must be a Tuesday.
It was an off day. So then the last thing that we did with going to Super Nintendo World was the Mario Kart ride. And the queue for this ride is super awesome. You're going through like different worlds. We already went through in the video through the underground, and now we're kind of going through the clouds, and it's kind of Yoshi's Island-esque, right? And we went on right after the line reopened, because this line was what, an hour plus all day, and then the
Yeah,
ride
I
shut
think
down, and then
the shortest I saw before that was like 45 minutes.
Yeah, so we jumped in when it was like a 25-minute wait right after it reopened. So we got in. We were pretty lucky to get in, and they also do a child swap, where if you have a kid and that can't ride like we do. First off, this ride has a height requirement, I think, of 40 inches. I think was the height requirement, which is kind of high for how low key the ride is. It's probably because of the AR, right? Right. I'm
Maybe.
guessing. So then you're walking up, you approach through Bowser's castle, and you see this Bowser statue, and it's so cool. It's like this just feels like you're walking into the video game. Micah throwing us a thumbs up there. It's just the aesthetic is awesome. They did a great job. They just nailed the look of inside a Bowser castle. And this is like, what is this ride's title? It's like Bowser's Mario Kart.
Something Bowser Challenge.
Bowser Challenge, yeah. And so it takes place in Bowser's castle. And there's like lots of stuff from the games. I mean, the whole line here had things to look at, and I'm just walking around pointing at things. Look at that! Look at that! Let's jump ahead here to you got. Did we already pass through the factory where they're making bob-ombs and?
Don't think so. I think that's towards the end.
Yeah, this is it here. The factory where they're making bob-ombs and those like little Bowser wind-up toy guys. You got the Bowser hand door scanners. And then it sort of merges into Mario Kart. And so you've got in here, you've got like the Mario Kart TV. It looks like Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, like menu screens. And they're like replay screens. Like, look at that. Look at how cool those Mii costumes are. All set up there. It's like, wow, we're in it. I thought it was really cool looking. So you got Team Mario. Oh, so is everybody Team Mario? Is there a Team Bowser? Can you play on both teams?
I think you just always play on
Team Mario.
But
so it's a Mario Kart race that I don't really understand the goal of. They give you these hats that you put on, right? And I think, I've got some audio recording.
Yeah, they don't like really explain till you're like on the ride, I think.
Yeah.
The hats, and then once on the ride, they have like AR goggle things that magnetically attach to your hat.
Yeah, this is us trying to figure out what these do.
We're trying to figure out what the hats are for.
Yeah, because we were expecting like 3D glasses or something along those lines, but they just give you these big chunky Mario hats. And you're like, oh, okay, what is this for? But then when you actually get up to the ride, it is like Micah said. Let's see.
4. Yep. You gotta make sure you're tall enough.
Yeah, my daughter was barely tall enough.
Okay. 1 and 2 here. 1 and 2. All right.
Yeah, you see here. Oh, I skipped over it.
On the other
So you attach the goggles to the visor, and it's like magnetic.
That is
like
interesting. Okay, so they've got like VR goggles that attach.
Those are
to
attached to the carts, so you can't run off with them
All
or
right.
something, I guess.
We'll see you on the other side. This probably won't look very good in recording. Because it's in number 9.
Yeah, so there's a close-up shot of the goggles. They're wired in to the cart. And then we don't have footage of the ride itself, although I probably could have taken footage because it would be really hard to capture what it looks like in the set. What did you think of the ride overall, Micah? Like how the AR experience and that go?
That was pretty cool. I feel like it took my eyes like 10 seconds to actually be able to focus on the AR characters and whatnot.
Yeah, the AR characters felt very shaky to me. Like they
Maybe you just had to tighten your helmet. Maybe it was just wiggling too much.
maybe it was wiggling too much. I felt like it was pretty tight.
But I noticed that a little bit though.
Yeah, and when it
Shoot
worked,
shells at people, which is pretty cool.
when it worked awesomely. It worked really well. But when it didn't work, it was kind of like really immersion breaking, you know? But then, like I feel like the whole Rainbow Road section was awesome. It looked really great with the AR.
Because everything else was like darker. Because I mean,
Yes.
the goggles didn't really they weren't that big.
No, it feels like they need to be a helmet or something that covers way more space because it was like all you could only see the Mario characters in this like tiny lens, so all peripheral, like nothing, and that felt a little weird. So it's like a cool concept for a ride that still feels like it has a ways to go before the tech is good enough to be like a full-fledged immersion experience, but it still was really cool and really fun and really worth going on. The concept of the ride is you're like going and you basically go on a whole bunch of different tracks, like different track areas. You're shooting shells at people in AR and collecting items. You spin out, different like timed events and things happen. It was cool. We all were on one cart together. It's 4 seats. And it's kind of like theater seating. So the people behind, I don't know, we weren't blocking your view at all, right?
No.
Yeah. I was sitting in the front, so I don't know.
I mean, maybe you blocked it a little bit, but Lucas didn't block much, or Aubrey. I don't remember who was sitting up front with you.
Yeah, so that was the ride. And that's the only ride they have at Universal Studios in California. Like I said, when they open up in Florida, we'll have 3 with this, the Yoshi, just like the simple Yoshi ride, which is kind of like It's a Small World, but you're on a Yoshi. And then
it's a Yoshi world.
And then the Donkey Kong coaster. And so, if you're leaving out, you just have to you just have to ask and be like, "Hey, I have a parent waiting that wants to go on it." So I let my daughter and my wife go on together afterwards, and they had a total blast. It's a cool ride. Oh, and of course it exits into the gift shop.
Like every other ride anywhere.
How many rides end in a gift shop? What are they?
It's at least 50%.
Yeah, what are they doing? What are we doing here? And that was our trip to Nintendo World at Universal Studios, California. And to exit, there's like an exiting warp pipe. You can also go back through the entrance. The real question is what rides don't end in a gift shop. Good point, Matty. So we headed out of there, and then that took up a good chunk of the day. We went in there first thing when we got there, which would have been 9 or 10 o'clock.
Late, because don't they open at 10? I think, isn't it?
Okay, so we got there 10-ish, 10:30, I think.
Yeah,
and then
we
were there till probably 2.
I think it's close to like 4 because I think our eating reservation was at like 2:15.
You're right. So we spent almost all day there. For the rest of the trip, okay, we can hide this now. What what is this view? For the rest of the time we had there, we hit up Harry Potter World. We also did we did like Minions and a couple other rides there. Very weird hodgepodge of stuff. It does not feel cohesive.
A lot of very horrible rides for motion sickness, I've decided.
Universal, yes.
Yeah,
Universal does a lot of like
3D
goggle and like shake them up.
They have they have like the projector, and then you're not really moving; they're just shaking you a bit. And then with like the projector screen, which sometimes is like half sphere, it like kind of feels like you're moving, but your body knows.
Yeah, that can get you.
Maybe it's that your body doesn't know that causes the motion sickness or whatnot. But yeah,
have you been on the Soarin' over the world ride at Disney? No, probably not.
So
it's kind of it kind of has a similar concept, but that one lifts you up and it blows wind in your face, so it's kind of like you're on a hang glider. And I never get motion sick on that one at all because
I feel like maybe the wind in the face might help or something.
Yeah, and also you're hanging up there as you're turning back and forth, so it feels like you're moving. Anywho, overall thoughts. I think Super Nintendo World was super fun. It was really cool. It's like my childhood dream to be in an amusement park that is Nintendo themed. However, I don't think it is worth how much it costs to go in, especially when there's only one ride.
I mean, if you don't get the bands and you just go in for the one ride and it's pretty quick, and then you just spend your other time
at other spots,
checking out the other areas.
But Harry Potter World, to get the full experience there, you need to buy a wand. It's like, how many segments of their park are they going to have where you have to buy a separate thing to enjoy it to the fullest extent? I mean, it's like buying Universal is like paying to go to an amusement park with a bunch of DLC you have to pay for separately.
Oh yeah.
Versus Disney, where you go, but anymore Disney's trying to follow that same model. I don't like that. But for an experience, if you are a Nintendo fan, I highly recommend it. I also say that if you're going to Nintendo World, you need to get a band. It's not really worthwhile going without a band.
Yeah. At least if you're planning on spending like the whole day there. But if you
just want to spend
a couple hours, well, if you only want to spend a couple hours,
if you just want to meet,
because then it will take too long.
Yeah, that's true.
Because if you want time to do other things, you can't really spend too much time there.
Yeah. I'd say my experience overall was really positive. There were pieces of it that I'm like, this could be improved. Like overall, the band experience was clunky. It felt like not the best organized, but it was fun when it worked well. It's like, if I had to give it a score, I'd say it's like a B+ experience overall, or like maybe an A-. Yeah. What score would you give it, Micah?
It was pretty good.
Pretty good. Anything else you want to talk about with our journey to Super Nintendo World? This was an awesome thing to do to celebrate 4 years of podcasting. I think
renting a car is a scam.
Yeah, they charged us too much. That's 100% for sure.
Here's the prepay amount, and then they're like, also you got to pay that same amount again afterwards. Why? What do you mean?
Yeah, that was scummy. But yeah, so this has been a really fun episode. It's a great anniversary episode because we got to talk about Paper Mario, Lego Zelda, which I was hyped for, and now I'm less hyped for based off of pricing.
Now you're just depressed.
But I mean, these are things we've been talking about forever. Thousand Year Door, Lego, and going to Nintendo World. And
You
so
just
we
gotta
actually
play through
got to do
Metroid
it.
Prime now.
So
And
hopefully
Luigi's Mansion.
hopefully this podcast was a good like taste of what Nintendo World is and like a good like full review and like a walkthrough of the experience there. It was a lot of fun. Go expecting to spend a good amount of money if you are into Mario stuff. I am excited. We have all these like souvenirs from the bracelets that are actually functioning amiibo. That's kind of cool. For what games we use it for, I don't know. And we got these cool matching shirts, and we got to experience it. We got to experience it together to celebrate 4 years of podcasting. We've been podcasting for 4 years, Mike. That's kind of wild. Hey,
Kind of a long time.
Here's to 4 more awesome years because we're not stopping. We are going to keep up Nintendo Palin for the foreseeable future. Although this
At
does
least
feel like a
until we
good
get that free copy of Metroid Prime 4.
yeah, this does feel like a good conclusion to conclusion episode, but it is not. This is just an anniversary episode.
As far as we know.
As far as we get hit by
The same
Reg,
bus.
we get hit by a blue shell on our way out the door tomorrow. I think that this like Nintendo peak for me, going to Nintendo World, hanging out with you, playing Paper Mario. It's like I'm experiencing a very high. You might say I am exiting my Nintendo era, or this has been the exit of the Nintendo era.
Maybe. We'll see.
I wasn't really in a Nintendo era. First off, just to clarify, but
okay.
I think that this is a
I'm
good
sure everyone believes you.
an end to that whole saga. Yeah. So, Micah, anything else you want to say before we close out the episode here?
Nope.
Thank you to all our listeners for sticking with us for 4 years. Let us know what things you want to see us do next. We are definitely planning to hit up Nintendo World when it opens on the East Coast because it will be bigger. Oh, okay. Wait, I want to talk conclusion with Nintendo World before we wrap things up. That trip made me very excited for the one to open up in Florida because the one that's going to open up in Florida is going to be bigger and have more rides, but it's also just going to be just a bigger area to walk in and to experience and walk around in. I think it's going to be so much better.
Yeah, all the cool stuff they stuffed into that small area.
Right. It
cool.
It felt big inside, but it also was really tight. Like they were really limited on real estate space because it's literally in Hollywood. And hopefully there won't be like 4 escalators that you have to bring a stroller up and down. Weirdest experience ever. We could have taken the bus, but that was like an extra hour is what they said. They were like, yeah, it takes about 30 minutes to get down there. What? I guess we'll take the escalator. But that was just a fun experience overall. I'm super hyped that we got to do that. Huge thanks to all of you for making it possible. And I hope that our experience there and this podcast talking about it was a fun watch along or listen along. If you're still audio listening and you didn't check out the video, man, you're missing out. With that, Micah, where can people find you on the interwebs?
People can find me on Twitch at Micah Prime.
And here on Nintendo Pals, too. I think they can find you here easier than on Micah Prime nowadays.
Yeah, probably. I don't know if I have any videos you can actually see on Micah Prime.
Well, if you want to see videos that you can see, check out Andros1 on YouTube, Twitch, TikTok, and all the places. Andros1, where I am putting out content pretty dang regularly and streaming 2 to 3 times a week over on Twitch, Zelda challenges, and other fun things. So yeah, check out Andros1. And of course, you can check out the show. Follow us over on Nintendo Pals, on all social media platforms. I am forgetting something, I think. Is that a shout out to our fantastic Patreon supporters? Yes, it is. Huge shout out and thank you to the wonderful people that support us over on Patreon. That's T-Bone 1494, Nick Lanoy, Fedorable Will, Monkey Thunder, Purple Riolu, Lava Plays, John Cummins, Lil Miss 7, Tim A, aka Neoprime 33, aka Nintendo Dad number 4, Seth Sturgill, LPD, Spider Shan, Solo, and of course, Mute Dog the Gamer. Thank you all so much for your support. We really appreciate you guys. You guys make these kinds of crazy projects possible where we get to check out Nintendo World and do meetups and all that. So, hey, future Nintendo Pals meetup will be happening. I think we are planning for a 2025 meetup when Nintendo World opens in Florida. So mark your calendars for whenever that is, which should be summertime next year. We're gonna be doing a meetup. For everybody that was also already planning on going to Nintendo World, we can also do our Nintendo Pals Hangout. More news on that to come as we get closer. With that, Micah, leave us with some sage wisdom.
Well, this is life, and I will not lie by saying that every day will be sunshine, but there will be sunshine again, and that is a very different thing to say. That is truth.
Peace out, y'all.